people that either were inexperienced in relationships or who were very, very young and inexperienced in relationships and inexperienced in club culture, having a take about this meaning something. And that was weird to me, because I feel like you are having an upset reaction about something that you don't even actually know you would be mad about for real. You don't know if you would be mad for real. You're imagining that you would be mad about it. And maybe I'm wrong. But I know that the people that came in my life, because y'all know Shello was in here saying it, and it was somebody else. They were young people that came in here, and I was like, why is this? This is not a thing, right? And my thing is, y'all can request to come up. We're already at, we're way past 25K. Y'all have to keep tapping the screen. We're gonna make this banana pudding. My thing is, it was a lot of projection. It was a lot of, you think you would be mad, and so you're mad. And then it was a lot of, Apple user, I just got on about 20-ish minutes ago. There's no guest request button. Hold on. Thank you for letting me know, Nikki. There we go. And then and here's, I'm actually tired of people saying that they are exhausted on Alandria's behalf or upset on Alandria's behalf, because I don't fucking believe you. I don't actually believe you. I think that y'all are saying that because you want to be able to be mad about it, and you're hoping that you can enrage her. There was one woman, and I'm gonna make a video about it for subscribers. There was one woman, a black woman, who made a whole think piece video just grinning, giggling. I been not liking that nigga. I knew, blah, blah, blah. Like, you didn't know shit. You didn't know shit except that you hoped that he would act like that because you want to humble Olandria. And no shade. Maybe a shade. Maybe a shade. Let me not lie. It's shade. It's shade. It's a bunch of conventionally unattractive women having this take. I said what I said. I said what I said. And so y'all are mad. And here you go, running to have an opinion, because here's the thing, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. I am willing to be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, okay? But when I very briefly heard about Alan liking models like pictures on Instagram, and when I say that was like, I heard that like very briefly in passing, it was not the same fixation that I see with this, and I have to wonder why. I have to wonder why. And I truly believe that it is because a lot of the women that have this take, that were so happy to be fucking, oh, see, we knew. I'm really tempted to believe that it's because y'all don't feel like Alandria is pretty enough to have what she has. And because you don't think you're pretty because you're not conventionally attractive, you're frustrated that someone you perceive as not pretty is getting what you think you are entitled to. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Right? The other thing that I think a lot of it is that people have not been willing to sit with themselves and recognize what's happening in their body. The reason why you're triggered, mama, is because your man can't keep his peen in his pants. That ain't got nothing to do with Nick and Alandria. You need to be sitting on my couch, not mine, but y'all know what I mean. Y'all need to be sitting on some marriage and family therapist couch to work through your couple shit rather than projecting. You don't trust your man's peen around beautiful women. What does that have to do with Nick and Alandria? Because I promise you, if a man wants to cheat, he's gonna cheat. He ain't gotta be at the club to do that. Like I said in my video, Nick doesn't even have to leave his house to do that, okay? You can get on the interwebs and DoorDash yourself. Not DoorDash. They say hi, manager. Like, you don't gotta go nowhere if you want to cheat. Thank you, Blue Eclipse. Like, so y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. Okay, I'm bringing the grown folk up, y'all. Whole hookup sites. Do you hear me? And even if he didn't want to get on the hookup site because I don't want to be publicized, it is literally some women's job. That is some people's job. So I need y'all to just stop acting like the only way he could have possibly had this happen is if he was in the strip club. I think that y'all think he's stupid, and that's crazy to me. Because when have y'all watched that man move like he's dumb? When have y'all seen that? You tell me. Escort services absolutely still exist. Smex workers, it's the oldest profession in the world. I tell people all the time. Okay? It says you're age restricted, Erica. Is your profile over 18? Because it should, my lives are all set to 18 plus, but if you're 18 and up, it should let you come. I don't even see them, Mava. There are ops in the chat. I don't see them. The chat is moving really, really fast. Really, really fast. But feel free to add them because my mods are definitely in here and will definitely mute and boot. My mods don't play that. But Cheryl's, I actually don't believe that either. Because anybody that is convinced that they are a PR relationship at this point is just a non-intelligent person. I'm sorry. There's no other way to put it at this point. And I'm not even saying because like, oh, their relationship is so legit. It's obviously so real. But what are they doing? That's PR for the relationship. They are doing things independently of each other. They're doing things independently of each other. Shit, even when he was at her award show, it wasn't no big old to do about them being together at her, like, what? It doesn't make any sense. They barely even are posting together. It doesn't make any sense. People are literally saying that because they just don't like them. It has nothing to do with them actually believing that they're a PR relationship. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And here's the thing, because if it really was you being mad that they're a PR relationship, then wouldn't you be mad that it's blowing the fuck up? And it's blown up. Wouldn't you be glad about that? Why would you be making all these like days long think pieces about it? What? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And again, I would love to get into what I think was happening for Sia and Destiny. Iris and TJ just became official. Great for them. I don't really have a thought about them. It's paint in a wall, baby. I paint in a wall. I don't. Reese DC. Clock it. Fake relationships have cheating scandals now. Like, please. Exactly, Sharkon. PR for what? Let's go from the top down. Nikki, will you please share your thoughts? And I'm going to start my banana pudding.
Real quick, are you not a Wicked fan? Have you seen Wicked?
I haven't seen Wicked. I'm not a Wicked fan.
Oh, sad, Tina. Sad. I want to talk to you about it so bad.
I might have to watch it.
It's such a good story. Anyway, Gigi came to support me when I was in the panel.
I love it.
Always, boo, always.
Thanks, girl. So my take for the first round, is that I was highly disappointed, but not shocked. because as everyone knows who have been here, I've been raising the alarm on, the lack of support, true support that people have been in these communities have been giving Alandria. And when I say true support, meaning that this is a man that she chose, and a lot of us, are rooting for her and her relationship. It's funny. It's like, and Tina, maybe you can vouch for this. But when people are getting married, the one thing that's been consistent is that they only want people at their weddings that support them as a couple, right? Because you want people rooting for your happiness together as well as separately. So I already knew that this was going to happen in this way. Absolutely not. And the first thing I thought was, why are people freaking out? Why are people freaking out? This man in it, like it's normalized in my age range, my generation. To we're way more open for people living different marriages, different ways of being in a relationship. We're not boxed in. And I've just seen a trend of where people have been boxing in, how people should live and operate. And then I want to just talk quickly, and I want more of your take on this as we go forward, is just stand culture in general. I've been into so many lives. I have sat back and I've listened, and I've participated in the spaces that I feel comfortable in. But just listening to a lot of different panels, I was just disgusted by the parasocialism to a degree, and that this feels stalkerish. I sat in a live and listened to some people talk about how they have gone into Nick's profile and saw that he liked then unliked, and it was after, it was before this moment, and then after this it's wild to me. I have never been this invested in anybody's life, including my own. Like, my goodness. So that was really hard for me to relate, and I just sat back and I kept thinking. I was just like, and then I saw your video. It was just like, we are unwell as a society. We are unwell as a society. This reminds me of what was happening back in the 90s during paparazzi. The Lindsay Lohans, the Paris Hiltons, Princess Di. It's just happening online, to where people are scared to post anything. People are scared to be together. Every little thing is being examined under this microscopic thing by people who have never had to live that way. You have never had to understand what it means for everybody to watch your every move, for you to be perfect in every way. And the only way that I can actually have a piece of that is because I grew up as a minister's daughter. My father's a pastor. So everything I did at church, everything, every smile I didn't make or whatever was always being like, she has an attitude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way I can relate to that level. And if I had trauma from that, I can only imagine what it's been like for Nick and Alandria since they've been out of this villa. So I'm going to stop talking. It's next, my time is up, and I'll share more thoughts later.
Thank you, Nikki. Okay, Skylar. And he really is GG. Skylar, go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Hi.
Whispering sweet nothing.
I honestly was more confused when it first happened, because I was expecting something real raunchy, girl. I was expecting, the picture for me was not what I was expecting from the reaction of the public. But I will say, like, the only thought I have really is the I statements drive me crazy. Like, I don't know if I just learned that in therapy about how you can't put yourself in a situation and use I statements for something you're not a part of. And that was what was confusing, is like, oh, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that. Well, are you a Nick? Are you a Landria? So we can't with these I statements if we're not in the relationship. And that was the biggest thing that I was noticing, was like, well, I wouldn't want my man to do that. Okay, well, are you Nick? Are you a Landria? And that was like the biggest thing for me, was like these I statements. I mean, I'm young. I'm under 20. I'm 23 years old. And I was confused as to why everybody else was angry about all of these things. I mean, I don't know. It's like they're insecure about their husbands and their boyfriends. I mean, I literally was expecting, not to get graphic, I was expecting grabbing, touching, kissing. Like, a picture of a man standing there was kind of crazy. And I think the reaction is just so insane. And I feel bad for two people who are constantly under scrutiny, and especially Olandria, because what did she do to deserve this? And that's my take.
Exactly that. And I love that you're naming that. And I wish that people would just be honest though, right? Like, stop making assessments about Nick and be honest that this is about you. And then use that honesty to realize you need to take a step back. Thank you for those thoughts, Skylar. Okay, Fontaine, will you please give us your thoughts?
First off, Skylar, kudos to you for being so young and having some awareness and sensibility at that age, because a lot of the people that I see talking crazy are within your age group. So kudos to you for that. It's definitely insane. And I had to make a video because people were just going crazy with their own stories and their own narratives. And I implored people to conduct a 5 whys analysis on why they are having such a visceral reaction to this. And I had to explain what a 5 whys analysis is, because I'm like, you have to get to the root, and you will see that your anger is misplaced. Everything here is misplaced. You have so much energy for people who, what you eat don't make them poop, and vice versa. So what is the real issue here? And also just, I'm like, you guys can't be people from the 99 and the 2000 or before, because when I was in my 20s, the strip club was the club. I was at the strip club like every other week, maybe, with my friends, having a good old time. And don't get mad at me, I was like sliding my foot and picking up dollars off the floor every now and then. Like, it was a time, it was a party. And I mean, what do you expect a 24-year-old man to do in Vegas anyway? It's like a rite of passage to go. But as they were saying, he was cheating because he was getting a lap dance. If they were able to capture a picture, this is just logic, if they were able to capture a picture of a girl talking to him, wouldn't they have been able to capture a picture of a girl dancing on him touching a girl, him smoozing up to anybody else? We're talking about a guy who, even at his meet and greets, he's really careful with his hand placement, the way his body is, just to make sure that nobody can insinuate anything at those meet and greets. So you think if he's that careful at the meet and greets, he's just going to be so lackadaisical at a strip club, knowing he's a public figure now, knowing that all eyes are on him? A process of elimination, people. That was my biggest frustration. But then I had someone in my comments come in and say, Nick is the only man from Love Island who's constantly embarrassing his partner. And I had to hit her with, I don't know how old you are, but Rachel Lee Cook had did a commercial where she had an egg and she said, this is your brain. And then she smashed the egg with a pan and said, this is your brain on drugs. Because what the hell? What is wrong with y'all?
Can we bring that commercial back, please?
They need to bring all the PSAs back. All the PSAs. Bring them back.
There.
Because it was the most insane thing I ever read. Like, I was like, what? I want to say something else, but I just won't. But yeah, and I yield.
I agree. We need Dare back, y'all. I remember them goddamn commercials. Okay. Yes, I love it. Thank you so much. Okay, Gigi, please give us your thoughts.
Ooh, child. I've been fighting for my life, right? I've been fighting for my life. So pretty much the same. And I would say that in this instance, my parlay hit, in which I have been saying time and time again that the most toxic this fandom has been is internally. So if I should have put money, where was my prize pick? I should have put that shit down on prize pick, because I have said this shit from the jump. I also recall saying for the last few weeks that we need to stop excusing shit as stan culture, that there needs to be a conversation about a shift in the zeitgeist when it comes to stan culture, that we need to start calling out the fucking weirdos and stop excusing shit as stan culture. Because what happened was, you have a generation of people who grew up on how to communicate on the internet, and they have completely eschewed interpersonal communication and critical thinking because they've allowed AI to think for them. And so in this, y'all don't know how to use discernment, even though you know how to throw the damn word around all day long, but you don't know how to go to Webster.com to find out what the fucking definition is. And you will go around and throw that shit around everywhere, making me have to break out my fucking whiteboard every once in a while. That shit is exhausting. It's exhausting having to talk to people and be like, oh, well, he shouldn't have done this and this. And what really blows me in all of this is the policing of a man who literally in every event has kept on his Keanu Reeves tip and has kept his hands visible. Mm-hmm. And this isn't to say, and I want to backtrack a little bit, because this isn't to say that men aren't capable, because at the end of the day, no offense, Big C, you know you're my dog, right? But men be stupid, right? And so that's not to say that it's not possible. And women are stupid. Women can be stupid too, but you know, this is not to say it's not possible, but if the facts are there, y'all literally took a blurry Bigfoot photo and created an entire Santa's fairy tale. You literally took a blurry Bigfoot photo and created an entire mythology behind it. It's fucking crazy to me. It's crazy that you like I need you all not to just check, like, for those of you out here, because I know y'all are in here. I haven't caught y'all yet to block you, but I know y'all are in here. But before you put your little fingers to your screen and before you hit post, if you run that shit by Chatiana, she will let you know, don't post that shit, you gonna look stupid. I promise you. She will let you know, don't post that shit, you gonna look dumb as hell. Because it's ridiculous to me that so many people have come up and it was, oh, she should have known. Oh, he's out here embarrassing her. The man, he shouldn't have done that. What, existed? The man shouldn't have existed. He shouldn't have breathed. Because as everybody else in front of me, ahead of me, and as just as Tina's pointed out, you all have taken your personal beliefs, and I've said this with the 404 situation too. That's why y'all were trying to clock Nick then, and that's why you're trying to clock him now, because you have taken your personal beliefs, your personal constraints on your relationships, and you have applied it to somebody and defined their character by it. And that is weird. That is weird as shit. Y'all want to, you're not, I want you guys to understand and hear me clear. You are not as all progressive as you think. Just because you know how to spell nuance doesn't mean you know how to apply it. Theory and practice are two different things, babes. I need you all, I really need that I need you guys to grasp this concept. Theory and practice are two different things. Just because you can pronounce it and you can spell it doesn't mean you know how to practice it. Because so many of you have come out of the woodworks and it's all about the black and white. And guys, when we say you guys, it's because there's a lot of people. Please understand that only a hit dog will holler, guys. So if it doesn't apply to you, if the shoe don't fit, if the thong don't size right, you ain't got to put it on. I promise you. But it really is. A lot of you got on this internet and should really prove that you should have either been a stiff sock or a pearl necklace. And it's really sad. Because in our year of 2025, and then this idea that, oh, well, he follows an OnlyFans girl. Well, guess what? Your first lady is an ex-porn star. Guess what? I mean.
And can we just also say, I'm sorry, and I know that people feel a way about sex workers, but I would much rather you pay for your corn than to be on the sites getting it for free. So I'm actually not.
Thank you. Thank you. And guess what, guys? I have some ex workers that are friends. I follow them, and that my husband doesn't have an issue with it. So I don't like. I need y'all to put your Puritan parade away and just listen. And it's okay if you are, if that's for you personally. That's not to say if it's not for you personally, it's completely okay. There's no judgment there, right? But do you see how just because I don't agree with the hugely conservative view that I'm not judging it? It's okay. It's totally okay. Nah, dog. If you in the U.S., that happens to be your first lady, dog. I hate to admit it to you, but she is a former corn star. So y'all can't be mad at that man for throwing dollars in her place of in her workplace.
Listen.
I'm just saying.
Listen.
I'm just saying. It boggles the fucking mind. It really boggles the fucking mind. The flabber is gasted.
Gasted, okay? Thank you, Gigi. We obviously are going to come back. Jules, please give us your thoughts, my love.
Honey, y'all know this shit already had me rolling my eyes several times. I just had to sit back when everything first dropped. When I first seen the picture hit my Twitter feed, I just was like, oh shit. They about to try and get the king. They about to try and get him. Like, I just knew they was gonna try and get him. They've been waiting for Nick to have some type of slip up. And when people wait for a downfall, that is dangerous work. So I just knew it wasn't gonna be good, even if he was vindicated. I have 4 points I would like to touch on tonight. One, let's talk about these motherfucking Ola dolls. You bitches. Excuse my language. I don't know if I should be cussing on here.
Go ahead.
You bitches, y'all are the worst of them. No shade. The Ola dolls, y'all gotta watch out for the Ola dolls because y'all really y'all hate Alandria. And it's actually crazy. Y'all really hate her. I feel like that's really what it is. Y'all really hate her because y'all want to be her. That's why what Nick posted on his story was so fucking funny. They hate us because they want to be us. It's literally that for them Ola dolls. That's why y'all are not in the Come Here Cream community or any of the other communities, because y'all feel like y'all can dictate Alandria's life and the way that she presents herself in media, the person she's with. Like, y'all really want to control that woman, and she is not having it, and that's why y'all are sick. Y'all went up on Twitter Spaces calling Alandria stupid, and that y'all seen this coming. And like, what type of fan are you? What type of fan calls their fave stupid? That is actually crazy. Like, unless your fave has actually done some some type of thing that isn't worth standing for, or it goes against your morals, I don't see why her own personal choice to be in love with a man or choose a partner should ever dictate how you look at said person. So I just want to start there with the Ola dolls. Y'all are very much, actually, no. I'm gonna keep going. Y'all are actually like Dr. Omar, however you say his name. Y'all are like those type of fans. To me, no shade. Y'all take that blackety shit a little too far, to a point where it almost seems like you really hate yourself. That's really what it gives to me. And that's another dig for another day, I think. But I think there's also, in another tie to that, I think it also goes back to this whole thing is also about race to me in a way, because I don't really know how I want to dissect that right now, but if anybody wants to tackle that, I'll chime in at some point. But I really do think a lot of this has to do with the race of it all as well. And someone mentioned it earlier, like, this man went on a national tour to every college known to man in America, was around a plethora of women every other day. In every picture, he sent her with a peace sign, putting it in between women so that there was not too much closeness. Women were asking him to kiss him on the cheek, and he was refusing it. So y'all really think he about to go to a strip club, and like the notorious, and I mean notorious slip ups of slip ups, and y'all thought he was gonna go to a strip club and entertain that shit where he know cameras are around. All right, all right. So I mean, I just felt like everybody was just too quick to jump on him. Everybody was too quick to see this finally end. And my thing is, like I said, y'all don't care about Alandria because I mean, at the end of the day, if Nick ain't a piece of shit, who is that ultimately gonna affect? Who is that ultimately going to affect? So for y'all to be sitting up here like, yes, he finally fucked up. He finally fucked up. Y'all seen that video where that white lady was jumping up and down at the paternity court because the man wasn't, you know, her father's child, and then the judge was like, "What are you screaming for? Now your baby is fatherless." It's given the same thing. Now Alandria ain't got no man that love her. Now Alandria is sitting here having to deal with her own feelings and feeling like, damn, now my heart is left to bleed for the world to see. Like, what does that do for her? For y'all to be sitting up here parading that? Like, that's not cute. That's not cute. And I really do wish better for her. And I, was on Twitter and I was like, if I was her or Nick, I wouldn't come on here and say shit to y'all dumb asses either. I wouldn't post a fuck thing. Y'all would never see a post from me unless it was business. Strictly business post. That's all it would be. A brand paying me. So me and my man got to post up. And then y'all might see me once a year on our anniversary. And the next time would be with a ring, and that would be it. I wouldn't post shit else for the internet. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't. And then the people begging him to make a statement. Make a statement for what? Make a statement for what? Celebrities get caught up in scandals, mess all the time. If every single time an allegation got dropped against a celebrity and they made a statement, we would never see the end of paragraphs and notes apps. Y'all are ridiculous. And I 100% agree with Gigi about like this is beyond stand culture. You bitches are just deranged, and y'all need to go sit in y'all own therapist chair, office, wherever. Vent to your mama, do something, touch grass, drink coffee, read a book, pick up a Bible, get in tune with self. I don't know, but it's too much. It's too much. It is honestly concerning. It really is. These people can't even step outside and enjoy themselves and be separate. Be separate.
Right.
Without controversy. That is insane to me.
Just literally existing. And I see y'all in the comments too about the fact that like people need to, the fact that nobody was, or very few people were even taking issue with the fact that there would be a picture or a video to begin with when you're not supposed to be doing that and exposing, like there's a reason why you're not supposed to be able to do that in the strip club. And so that should have already made people be like, huh? Oh, you know what, Gigi? I was going to say, go ahead and block Nuke 5 because they be in here being stupid. They be in here being on some, they be bringing up Michelle and Alan for no reason. Is that what they did just now?
You know I got you.
Okay, thank you.
You know I got you.
But yeah, they... Hi, Charlene. I don't know why nobody was critiquing that and why they didn't immediately make people go. And maybe people just don't, again, have experience with, like, club culture. But I don't understand why that would have made you immediately be like, huh, her values might be a little bit skewed, might be a little bit off. Should I take everything that she's saying at face value? And Shello has not made their appearance yet. Should I take everything at face value and just believe it all? You know what I mean? Okay. We will definitely get into them. And then V, please go ahead and give your thoughts. Okay, let's put a top on this and then put it into the fridge while we cut the bananas.
Vi, your time is going, dear. Can you hear? There you go.
I thought she had put me on mute, and I forgot you got to take yourself off mute. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, but mine's is it's not really gonna be long. I just kind of want to make a point. We not getting on homegirls yet, right? We gonna wait on that.
Go ahead if you want to. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is where she took me out. And first I want to say too though, so y'all get that furious about that picture of Nick sitting in a chair with a shapely young woman at her place of business, but y'all didn't get that upset when Honda Civic was sitting on Ace's face. A lot of y'all that are complaining about this Nick and Alandria situation, since y'all want to bring up them, y'all were the same ones that said that, you know, our other girly was overreacting.
Exactly.
But
Oh, Shelly's doing too
that is
much. Shelly's
okay.
doing too much. It's not that deep. It was
It's
that
not
deep.
that deep. But now, okay. So y'all picking and choosing. But there was something that she said that really said, okay, where's my boxing gloves? I'm tired of her talking. So she says, there are bigger people, but they probably don't want to get doxxed because we, unlike a lot of these people, have real life consequences to our jobs. We get stalked more. We get harassed more. We get unalived. We lose our job. So there's a lot of people that don't feel comfortable posting where they work. So with that being said, what was the point?
Yeah.
And
That's
what do
the
you
question.
mean bigger people? Any and everybody can get harassed, stalked, unalive at any given time because of a particular situation. But you're saying that like that's supposed to be an excuse to let you off the hook. You just hung yourself even more, sweetheart. Because you were at a place of business taking videos and photos where you are not supposed to. And you did it anyway to then come and say, well, I was posting my tea. I'm sorry, what tea is that of yours? Nick is not your tea. He will never be your tea. He will never be your first, last, only, and even in your third lifetimes after this, sweetie. Are you cool? Like, are you crazy? So that's like, when she was talking, it's like every time she said something to try to get herself out of it, she would just dig herself back and then dig the hole. And then here come her friend and y'all, yeah, get in there, y'all bury yourselves. Go ahead. In under 2 days. So I'm very proud of the guy that like did the video.
Hi, Shello. There they
That
go,
did the video,
y'all.
and he opened and closed that case in under 48 hours, girl. I said clock it.
It
And
was less
yeah,
than 24 hours because Sia was on the live that night. And Sia had already sent him the screenshots that night. So it was less than like 16 hours. And it was like, oh, it was debunked. Kismet, you really did.
like, and I'm just kind of, and then she keeps making posts too, so it's just giving me like, okay, so you just want clouds, just say that. And wait, when did so why ain't nobody tell me that you can be, what's they call it? I know there's traveling, because they call it spicy dancing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Back in my day, we just called it strippers, but okay. And traveling, that just goes without saying. I don't know no stripper that don't travel. But okay, girl. And if this is what you doing, traveling, you got to run out of a lot of places to work, girl, because this is spreading like wildfire. And your face is all the way out there. And you keep posting. So yeah, go ahead, lose your job, sweetheart. Thank you, but no thanks. Bye. Peace out, homegirl.
Unfortunate. And
Yeah.
I want to go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me let you go.
No.
first.
I'm done, girl. I'm done. I
Now
said
I'm
what I
like
need to
moving,
just say
right?
for right now. Go ahead, Miss Tina. Get it, girl.
Okay, because here's the thing. I went to Destiny's page, okay?
Me too. I did.
And I went through Destiny's posts, y'all, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was disappointed. Y'all, I be letting Shello live. Listen, okay, hold on. Let me get my Shello disclaimer. Y'all, I am pretty sure that Shello is like 15. Shello is a kid, y'all, okay? We
Bless her
ignore
heart.
Shello. We just let Shello talk to the air in here, okay? We don't
Free
do too much
Shello. Shello.
Go ahead, live, Shello. Go ahead, live a little bit.
Shello is the fan fave.
Okay, Alandria, Shello said Alandria is not in Nick's comments because they're not in each other's comments. Clearly, they're not together, guys. Like, are y'all not seeing it?
This is exactly what we be talking.
Weirdo.
And that's how we know that
This is
Shello's in high school, y'all.
This is exactly what we talking about. Like, come on, stop going to these people's comments looking for Landry's name. Y'all need to stop.
Oh, do y'all
Shello,
believe
I
that
think-
she
I
actually
think
did
Total
not
Drama
watch Love
Island is
Did
on.
y'all see the picture of her with Chris? The one
Yes.
that's doing everything but playing basketball?
Mhm.
Okay, now
wait.
y'all go ahead and go. I'm be quiet.
Let me give you
No, that's cool.
I went to her page, y'all, and I'm not gonna lie, I was actually more disappointed that she did what she did after I watched some of her videos because she has good politics. She was talking about important things. not everything, but there were things that she was talking about that I was like, yeah, like raise some consciousness around that. I appreciate duality. I appreciate a hold that can think. I could not believe that someone that operated like that, and that's exactly it, period, right, would then make the leap that she made. But I will say that there was clearly like like a pattern, maybe is the word I'm trying to use, right? There was a pattern of trying to go viral around certain things, right? There you go. Because there were certain things. It was like, oh, when you drink this and you get into like whatever the phrase was, she kept using it over and over again. So she was definitely trying to create a pattern to create some virality. And then Sia put that little battery in her back. And unfortunately, she allowed herself to believe what other people have believed about internet stuff, right? Which is that I can use someone else. Yep. I can use someone else to blow myself up. And I think that she thought she would get insulated by, if she even thought about it this far, right? I think that she thought she would be insulated by Honda Civic and Shalandria fans, right? People that hate Alandria, right? But again, what I say all the time, you have to be mindful. Do they like you or do they just hate me? Because as soon as it's no longer to their benefit to prop you up and hating me, they don't actually support you. So as soon as she started getting pressed, as soon as the story started to unravel, it was like, oh, never mind, just kidding. We're not fucking with her. And she backed up, And so you really have to, again, you have to stand on your own morals and values. You think I'm giving her too much credit? You have to stand on your own morals and values. You cannot be doing shit. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. But you should not be doing shit just to try to pop on the internet, okay? Because you're gonna fall flat at some point. And Sia explicitly said to her, "You will go viral." That was in the text message thread. And then she was worried about getting canceled. I saw the clips because I watched Caitlin's video too. She could not believe that Sia had not blocked out certain things. So yeah, you got to stand on your own shit. You can't just be doing shit because somebody put a battery in your back, baby. You can't do shit just because people put a battery in your back, because you're going to have to be able to stand on your own and mean what the fuck you said.
What gagged me is Sia is not her friend, and she was laughing because she
Right.
found all of that funny. She was throwing her friend under the bus.
Okay, Miro wants to know why are people so suspicious of Nick? Some have noticed that he follows OnlyFans girls and have made a thing of it. People are they suspicious of Nick? I think there's a couple of things. This will tie into what you're talking about, Jules, too, and then I want everybody else to go again. Some people have a hard time with trusting. They are distrustful of white people in general. Full stop. Full stop. And so they're going to be distrustful of Nick. If you have your own trauma with experiencing racism at the hands of white people, you're going to be even more suspicious. So some people have their own. Partly because he's white, right? There's also, like, we're not going to act like we don't know that fetishizing does exist, right? Like we know that is a thing, right? And so I think that some people feel worried that is like, that could be happening. That is what it is, SK. It is all projection at the end of the day. It's all projection, but this is what is probably being triggered in some people, right? We all heard the slurs that got used against Alandria, right? We heard the slurs that got used against her by black men. By black men. Now, Lane, keep it cute. By black men, okay? We heard those slurs. And so there are some people that rather believe that is the only way he could be attracted to her is if it is reduced to her crotch. That's it. And so he is going to hurt her. He is going to embarrass her. He is going to do something that is going to be out of step with how he should move with her as a black woman, right? I think some people think he doesn't have the range. It's a lot of details to it. I think a lot of it does boil down to, and no shade to Alandria, But I do think that for some people, they took, and I think that Dwight who made the video that contributed to that conversation. When Alandria said our relationship is healing for people, people wanted to believe that she meant seeing a black woman be loved by a black man rather than what she meant, which was watching a woman be loved softly, intentionally, right? That is healing. But people ran with that. And I'm not even saying that I don't understand people's trauma. We all live in the United States. Well, not all of us in here, right? But Alandria, Nick, right? They are understood within the US context. I'm not saying I don't understand it. I'm saying that people need to be able to stop and wonder what that is before they get to doing this. That's all I'm saying, right? Is to get curious with yourself as to why are you feeling like that, right? And I do think that some people, and we hear it from the fans, right? Oh, y'all are capping so hard. You're caping so hard for this white man. Y'all just want swirl. They cannot believe that it's about anything other than people being excited to see a woman be loved intentionally, softly, beautifully. They cannot believe that that's what it's about. They need it to be something else. And I think that also plays into race in that Alandria is not who's supposed to be desired as a black woman. It's supposed to be a light bright with loose curls and preferably colored eyes. That's who's supposed to be desired. So this dark-skinned black woman who has very striking, beautiful Afrocentric features is they don't know how to wrap their minds around it, and their anti-blackness be showing the fuck up. It was supposed to be Amaya, clock it. She was supposed to be the sidekick. She was never, in their mind, she was not pretty enough to be main character. I'm sorry, that's what it is for a lot of people. I'm not sorry about that, but that is what it is for a lot of people, right? They don't see her beauty as beauty that should be elevated in the way that it is. And again, this goes back to how they feel about themselves, what they understand about blackness in general, either for themselves or black people outside of themselves, right? Maybe they're not black, but how do they understand and conceptualize blackness? And how do they understand relationship between black and white people? And again, within the US context, there is a lot of tension around that. So I'm not going to discredit that. I'm just saying that people have to be willing to recognize that there's something else going on for them. It's not just about Nick has done something to make me suspicious of him. And I know that Lane said, and I know Lane got muted, but Lane said Nick cheated before. Here's why I'm calling bullshit on that, okay? Because that situation happened years ago in a long distance relationship, right? And for me, I just believe that you have to give people an opportunity to demonstrate that they're different. And I don't feel like people that want to, this is the manager. Ooh, and don't let her think that you said it's not the assistant manager. She's the manager. She's the manager. And here's the thing. Y'all are not giving him an opportunity to show that he's different. Y'all are not giving him an opportunity to show that he's different. You just want to believe that that's who he is, period. She is mad that y'all are telling her she looks like me. She is so beautiful. She has a beautiful personality too. But like, people are not giving him. So it would be one thing if people were like, you know what? We know that's his past. We're going to hold space that like, oh, you know, everybody's capable of everything, whatever, right? Or he could be capable, who knows? But we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. People are like waiting, foaming at the mouth. Oh, they want you to say hi. They're foaming at the mouth. So they're not really giving. I don't even feel like that's genuine when people say that. No, because she's been hearing it her entire life, Birdie. That's why. Literally, okay, side note, very quickly. She was a water birth. I gave birth to her in a bathtub. And as soon as I pushed her out, my mom and my sister were in the room when I gave birth to her. And they both said, she looks just like Christina. So she's been literally hearing it from the moment she got birthed into this world. Okay. Okay, let's go from the bottom up this time, or how does that feel? Bye.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, go ahead,
So
Boo.
what was the question was like, why are they what?
Why are people acting like they're so suspicious of Nick? Like, why are they watching his every move, being so suspicious about him?
I think they're using suspicious as a cover word for their actual real intentions and point of views, because you touched on the race thing. Now let's go financial. Wasn't his mama a model? Wasn't he not a model? Alondra wants to be a model. Okay, cute, go be a model over there, girl, but why are y'all helping her? Why would they not? Regardless if she was with Nick or not. You guys, it would be blasphemy for you guys to believe like, oh, if I didn't leave out the villa with Alondra and I know she wants a model, I'm about to. Would it be too far-fetched to be like, Nick then got Alondra out there modeling? Wait, hold on. What? I thought they didn't go together. Wait a minute. What is this? She using him. She's using him, not him using her. Because why? Racially, when you see a certain tone of color, you look innocent before you're guilty. And when you're of a certain tone, you're always guilty before you're innocent, especially if there's financial advancements involved. Work, savings, credit, whatever. You are putting someone on a level, not only intellectually respecting that person as a person and a black woman, you also putting her at the level with y'all financially, and y'all can't take it. Because why not me? Why I can't have this? Girl, we not talking about you. You don't have it because you didn't go get it. You didn't take a chance like Alondra took a chance. You still thinking about taking a chance right now and still not gonna do it or never do it. So why are you mad at them instead of yourself? They mad at us because they ain't us. Period. So the next person can go.
Feel like she's not supposed to have those opportunities because they don't have those opportunities. And again, because they don't perceive her as attractive, she looks too much like a black person. She's not attractive, right? Because I'm not attractive. Well, how can she have that and I don't? Hi, user. Wait, is that Nene? Hi. How can she have that and I can't? Right? And I don't think it's conscious for most of them. I think it's subconscious, but I agree with that. I think a lot of people think that she is not worthy because they don't think they're worthy either. Jules, will you please go ahead and give your thoughts?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you kind of hit most of the points that I wanted to hit. But I wanted to lean into that's why them dumb broads felt comfortable doing this, because it is so easy for a non-black woman to come on and scream Bloody Mary, cry wolf, and everybody believe her at face value. Everybody is so keen on humbling Alandria. That's what everyone is talking about. They don't think it should be her in this position. They don't want her modeling. And let's bring it back to black insecurity and why y'all felt so triggered by that. Our story is healing the world, tagline that y'all stuck to her. Because y'all don't want to heal. Y'all aren't focused on healing. And that's why the black community, you know what, I ain't gonna dig that deep. But that's why we at where we at in terms of love. Because what did Alan Jr. What did Alan Jr. come on and say? He said his favorite movie was Love and Basketball. That's what he said. The biggest struggle love movie of all black time.
A goddamn horror film.
Love and Motherfucking Basketball, y'all, is his favorite movie. And that's why they was jumping up and down for Shelly and motherfucking Alan Jr. Then, where was I going with this, y'all? I done lost my train of thought. But y'all love struggle love was my point. Like, y'all, okay. Y'all wanted Alandria, I remember now. Y'all wanted Alandria out there with Taylor scooping up shit and yanking on milkers, tossing water. Y'all wanted her to be the field slave. That's what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted her down there in the muck. And exactly, Nikki, she's so pretty. She's too motherfucking pretty for that. Why? What did Kim Kardashian say? Why would I put a sticker on my bumper or whatever the fuck? Why would y'all put a pretty girl in shit? Why would y'all try and cover her in hay and cow manure? Let's be for real. Y'all jumped up and down because y'all want Nick to humble Alandria. That's really what y'all want. Y'all want Nick to come on there and do some asinine shit to her, like Taylor was doing to Clark when he was pushing her in the head and calling her out of her name and being immature and rolling in the dirt and calling her ugly and all this other type of shit. I'm dragging it, y'all. I'm dragging it, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Y'all want Nick to come online and do the same thing to Alandria. And Nick would never do that because he sees the queen. He sees the embodiment of Christ walking through her. He knows not to play with her. He knows anointment has walked into his life.
Period.
Why would he block his blessing? Why would he block his blessing? Alandria said to Nick, I want 37 years with you. That's what I want. I want what your parents have. Nick agreed. She went on Angel Reese's podcast and said, I made very clear to Nick that I'm not doing this unless it's for the long haul. They agreed on that. Nick wants to retire Alandria and both of their mothers and their siblings.
He said whole family.
Y'all not running around hearing that from y'all niggas. And that's why y'all are mad. You're mad that your nigga is not up here picking you up and telling you don't even worry about the what. Y'all about to get mad at me. But what did Natalie Nunn say? I don't complain. I just paid the tab. You bitches are used to picking up a tab. Woo. Y'all are used to picking up the tab by yourself. Y'all want to do bad all by yourself. Taraji P. Henson style. And Alandria don't have to do bad by herself no more. She could if she had to, but she don't got to. And that's why y'all are mad. Y'all want her position. Y'all want the aura. Y'all want the alignment. Y'all want the crave that the celebs are like celebs are craving her and flocking to her because the energy is so good at her house. Like I said, she is the walking embodiment of Christ. She is anointment. And when people are anointed, people hate. People hate. They hated Jesus. They'll hate her too. And that's all I got.
And that's what it is. Listen, now that you're bringing it up, people cannot stand to see people that have favor on their life. Like, it truly does something down in their soul. Like, and not everybody, right? But we talking about the ones that get upset about it, right? It's that envy, it's that jealousy, it's that what's the word that I want? Covetous spirits is what they are. They are covetous spirits, right? And they want it so badly for themselves. And instead of being honest that that's what's happening for them, because they ain't got no fucking self-reflection, they're like, that bitch. He's gonna
Wait,
Tina. And her.
One more thing, Tina, because this just dawned on me. I just remembered something. The last live I was on, I know y'all probably done had like maybe 4 or 5 after that, but we were talking about how they were dragging Alandria's family into it and was trying to, bring up the past and all that stuff. That's why y'all are doing that, because y'all know that her parents did have to struggle through some stuff. They did have to get through some real shit to raise this wonderful woman that we see now. But y'all want Alandria to go through them same struggles. Y'all want Alandria to be a single mother. Y'all don't want her to get her king, her prince, her shining, armor, all of that, whatever. Y'all don't want her to get that off rip. Y'all want her to get through the story so y'all can have this amazing, struggle story. She came from the mud. She ain't have nothing. She raised these 2 kids. She ain't have no money. She was homeless. And then this man came and he saved her. Yeah, he got her out of that situation. Wow, I want a love like that. I want a man that's gonna come through for me after I done went through it all. He gonna see me for all my scars, all the bodies I had to take on, all the men I had to sleep with, to pay rent. Like, that's what y'all used to. And she's showing y'all something different. She really showing y'all that y'all can be loved softly, like Tina said. and still get what your heart desires. But y'all don't want to hear that. I'm sorry, it's really pissing me off, y'all. That's why I had to come back and override Tina a little bit. I'm really sorry, Tina. Don't whoop me. I promise I'm a good boy. But yeah, and also another reminder, stick into y'all brain, because y'all keep asking why them girls did that to her. That's why they did that. Because non-black women, I'm gonna say it again, non-black women know it's easy to come on the internet, or come, even not even on the internet, go to the police, go to your local neighbor, go anywhere and scream, and y'all will jump and say how high. And I'm done.
And that's another reason why people default believe them, right? Is because, and I've talked about this on my lives before, somebody was in here and they were like, dang, y'all deep in here, because we don't never just do Love Island in here. We always go just a little bit deeper than that, right? But like, that's why people default believed them, because when you are close, when you have more wealth, when you are closer to whiteness, when you have more proximity, the further you are away from what is perceived as blackness in the United States, you are more easily believed. That's not my opinion. That's just research, right? And so that is why a lot of people so readily believe them, because they're already anti-black. So all they needed was some non-black woman to say what they already want to believe anyway about her, right? That is my daughter. Somebody asked if I'm Haitian. I'm not Haitian. To the person that asked if family was brought into it, yes. On my last live, somebody came in here and tried to get me to I don't know what, I don't know what the fuck they thought was gonna happen. Speak on Olandria's dad being affiliated. And I said, baby, first of all, you're being classist as fuck. You're being anti-black as fuck. And I'm here for the hood niggas, okay? I'm married to a former East Sider. Like, I'm not, it wasn't gonna be me. Okay?
Point of correction.
Pharmacist. Like, it was never gonna be me. He had an apothecary. That was never gonna be me. Now, before we were married. But I'm just saying, okay?
Pharmaceutical what? You're right.
They really said that. Okay. Okay, Gigi, please give us your thoughts.
Sorry, before I give my thought, I would like a point of correction. Much like Celine Dion, Tina is my Haitian cousin, so don't believe her. Tina, here's what it is. So, okay, on to these thoughts. I'd like to let you all know, I've recognized why you all are tripping over yourselves so hard. And when I say you all, I promise you a hit dog will holler. If it doesn't apply, don't put on the shoes. But the reason why so many people are tripping over themselves about this situation is because they keep trying to put their shoelaces on Nick's feet. And that's the easiest way I could say it. Y'all keep trying to put your shoelaces on somebody else's foot, and that's why you tripping over yourselves. Celine Dion is not Jamaican. She has been Haitian since 1804. I don't know why I keep having to have this conversation with y'all. Okay? Her name is Céline, okay? Don't play with me. And Tina's name is Christina, okay? That is a Haitian ass name. I don't know what y'all keep talking about, so like, go sit down somewhere. As far as why people are so gung-ho, I mean, Jules pretty much wrapped it up, right? Like, I don't understand why so many people are mad at Nick. Maybe he should have taken her to 20 versus 1 and ogled women in front of her and chosen the next bombshell. Maybe that would have made people feel better. Maybe that's what it should have been, because I really don't understand what it is. And let's backtrack a little bit. What if he did get a lap dance? What if he did get a lap dance? What if he did? Because don't him and Ola share locations? Wouldn't she have known? Didn't they say communication is the biggest thing? Hell, when he knows she mad, he makes her talk. You know how we know that? Because she said that in an interview. She said that in an interview. When he knows she's mad at something or something's uncomfortable, he makes her talk. Isn't that weird? How communication works? I'm mad. You say, "Hey, baby, what's up?" I say nothing, and then you say, "No, baby, talk to me." Isn't that weird how that works? It's kind of like it's kind of like your brains don't work. Like, I really need you to check to make sure that some of your synapses are firing at the appropriate rate, because it doesn't seem so. Y'all are upset at this man for being in an establishment, and let's say he got what he was supposed to do, and what? I don't recall at any point Nick and Alandria agreeing to polyamory. I don't. I don't recall them saying that they're in an open relationship. So why are y'all in their business like that? And I understand, and this is not to say that people can't have an opinion, right? You can have an opinion. My issue lies is when you start to ascribe your opinion or your constraints to somebody's character, and you start to begin character assassination campaigns because of it. Because you think so linear, as if life is linear, as if all thought and morality is linear. You put yourselves on these moral pedestals made of quicksand. For what? What are you doing? I've said this in other lives. It is possible that you don't need to just touch grass. Okay? You can go outside. You can go and get some special grass. Head down to the corner store. They have a plethora of wrappings wherever your location is. You can apply heat and then inhale deeply, because you need to do more than touch grass at this point. It's disturbing. Now, coming back to these two birds, I don't think that a lot of you, and I've said this in a couple of lives, and this is in all seriousness, I need y'all to be a little more careful about what y'all say on the internet. Right? Because it's getting to a point where it's super scary and you're saying things that are ridiculous and can be traced back to you. And I'd like to let you know that even if you use a VPN, a simple subpoena can get your IP address discovered. So if you out here making posts that are slanderous, you put it in writing, meaning you put a text post out there, you open yourself up to libel, you open yourself up to slander. And for those of you who think that, oh, they ain't gonna get no money out of me, if you have renter's insurance or home insurance, it's covered under that. They can sue your home insurance. They can sue your renter's insurance. There's court precedents for that. There's court precedents for it. So I need y'all to be more careful. And this girl out here, this midnight ballerina, she ain't gonna be ballerinaing for far too long, because she's broken discretion. She's broken confidentiality. She's broken discretion. These clubs aren't gonna hire her anymore. These clubs aren't gonna hire her anymore. And that's just what's gonna happen. Y'all falling into this because y'all don't know how to engage with people anymore. You don't know how to discern it, and it's crazy. Like, I've looked at quite a few of you in your posts, and I've gone, killer fuck. Because what are we doing? You did all that for what? And only to be disproven like that. That's weird. And then you want to dig back and be like, oh, well, he did this. Did he do this to you? Like, and here's my final thought on the situation. I want y'all to listen very carefully. Okay? It was never gonna be you. For some of y'all, I need y'all to know it was never gonna be you. It just wasn't. Y'all are given the type of friends who cheer for your friend in her face, but be praying for her downfall behind her back. That's what a lot of y'all give. Because it should have been you. It was never going to be you. That man was never going to pick you. Some of y'all need to hear it. I'm sorry. I mean, not really sorry, but I'm sorry. But it just wasn't going to be you. And I need you to pick a therapist, not mine though, because Tina's my TikTok therapist. Unless y'all gonna pay her premium rates, y'all can do that. That's the only way I'm gonna allow it though. But it was never gonna be you. Take your shoelaces off that man's shoes, because y'all are tripping over nothing.
It was a non-thing, literally a non-thing.
And so what? Like, it just lastly, like I would say, I'd like to say that y'all are acting like the way people, like a lot of the people who reacted weirdly, a lot of people who acted weirdly reacted the same way I did when I initially saw Honda Civic. That clip of Honda Civic crashing out after episode 2, and that's what prompted me to watch this season in the first place, because I thought somebody drugged her for filth. The way some of y'all are reacting like that, like somebody drugged her for filth. Like I literally thought that I was going to get on this internet and watch and see a video of this man giving this girl a public pap smear.
I thought they was
a public mammogram,
be kissing or something.
I thought there was going to be a public mammogram, a public pap smear, a colonoscopy, something. Something, but you mean that man was breathing with his hands in his lap? Y'all are crazy.
He was ordering wings.
Them lemon peppers. That's all he wanted. Some lemon pop. So he could,
The only thing they serve in the club.
I saw that video.
just so
And
he
I
could
was
get
just
some.
like, is there more?
I'm crazy. That's crazy. But this is what people like. Am I crazy, guys? Is this what people are tripping over?
You're not crazy. You're not crazy. He was
I
trying
mean,
to
I
do
know I'm a
food
little
review.
unwell sometimes, but I know I'm a little unwell sometimes.
I was just about to say
Jesus.
that, Tina. Food review at the club.
He was trying to get us a
Listen.
food review and y'all in here being ridiculous.
Y'all here taking food reviews, flavorful. Somebody put it on his flavor.
Listen, so flavorful. That's all he wanted.
Man can't cough and
Y'all
eat.
just want that man to eat bland food from the blandest places all the damn time. Y'all are
Y'all
no
better
fun
shut up. Got the
culinarily.
best
Like, I
menu.
need y'all to elevate y'all palates. Y'all need to elevate y'all palates. That is crazy to me. Get y'all some nana pudding in your lives. Like, that is crazy to me.
Y'all ain't never had
Oh,
no
and side note, Chris,
patty.
don't be out here showing out. Chris, don't be out here showing out. We see you out here trying to play Quiet Storm in the background. Don't do that. We see you. Show it off. Go ahead, my boy. Go ahead. Take it out, dog.
You can't have a wing filling. Exactly. Jeez. Okay, Fontaine, give us
Trying to give him a breast filling. Sorry.
Gigi, every time you talk, my diaphragm gets a workout, girl, because I am dying laughing.
Oh,
But at this point, I think we're all just playing the same record, saying similar stuff. But I'm gonna hit you with a little bit of the remix. People don't understand healthy dynamics. And when they see that, it makes them uncomfortable because they're so used to being around chaos, operating in chaos. So any kind of morsel that they can pick at to make them feel comfortable and create that chaos that they're used to, they're going to take the opportunity to do that. That's part of my perspective, just adding on to what everybody else has said because everybody else is spot on. But that's just my angle at it. It's like people who don't know what a healthy dynamic is, what good communication is, what love and affection and true support is, it makes them uncomfortable to see that. And so they have to find something. They have to find something so that they can be like, no, you're really just like me. You're just like me. You're not this. You're not all that. Oh, you think you're better than me? Type mentality. That's what it is. They see Nikki Olandria and it's almost like perfection. And that perfection makes them so insecure and upset. They're like little rabbit chihuahuas at this point.
That is an excellent point.
That's all I have to contribute. I got to go to sleep. I'm getting up at 3 to go to the gym.
Okay, girl. I love the commitment while I make it, girl.
I lost 80 pounds this year. I'm still going.
Girl, period.
congratulations. Yes, ma'am.
Daddy.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I need that
We love it
inspiration.
for you. Well, thanks for coming up, Fontaine.
Adios.
Thanks for sending all the panelists gifts. Y'all are thebomb.com. I love my people. Fontaine, hang and let them give you gifts. Okay, Erica. Oh, shit, she left y'all. Erica, give us your thoughts, my love.
Y'all can hear me well because I'm doing rounds in my job. I got to get paid.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Tina, I don't like to bother Tina with the shenanigans that go on this internet. She got a family and kids. But the sickness in my soul for these people was great. Like, I was sick of them to my core. I just couldn't stand them, any of them. I mean, the lack of... I'm going to go over my whole point and everything and get to that last question. But in regards to... I could not believe the amount of stupid I was seeing with the people. Like, I can understand you being young. I even got up on 2 panels and explained the perspective of someone who's actually worked in the club, who actually was a bottle girl, and even explained some of the outfits that we wore as bottle girls and things of that nature. Still was confused. Still was like, oh, well, that's inappropriate. I would have blocked him instantly. Oh, well, baby, you're never going to have a man. I'm sorry. You can't communicate with your man. I had a panel of people sitting up there saying, well, I just know a Proverbs whatever woman would never want her man in the club. Yes, honey, and I'm in the church and I don't, but baby, please. I said, have y'all lost y'all's minds? When has Olandra ever said she was that type of woman or she wouldn't want her man in the club? I couldn't believe what I was hearing from people. And I think the most disgusting thing was to hear Jules hit on the point. The Ola dolls were sitting there talking about, yeah, well, I've been thinking this is weird. Why is Quan always with them? Why is his friends always there? Why is this? Why is that? I said, oh, so y'all been itching for this. Y'all been itching. Y'all don't love that girl. Y'all don't care about that girl. They said we just want her to do better. They want her to find better. When has she said this? Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, this man canceled one of his shows, lost some money to go support her in a show. If that ain't supporting love, I don't know what is, honey. And I know these were coming from young mindsets, but I can't even give them young mindsets because you've had the wisdom of Gigi, of older people, Charlie, get on panels and explain to you why this was not a problem or an issue. And y'all have yet to understand what we're talking about to you. They're saying, well, why are y'all saying Nick is vindicated? He's not vindicated. We still haven't gotten all the evidence. The girl said she was doing it for virality. Literally. She said it. It was in the text messages. Her friend got up there and gave her her own goddamn whacking. We didn't even have to whack her too much. She busted like a piñata and gave us the information. We were sitting on the live as it was happening. So I'm confused. They're like, yeah, y'all just want that white man. This has nothing to do with this white man. Say y'all don't want that. Y'all like her as a pretty girl, but y'all don't genuinely like her. Y'all don't want to see her success. Y'all don't want to see her greatness as a black woman who's actually paving the way for so many to come behind her. And she's doing it in a proper way. She's not losing her cool. She is being so amazing. And y'all are just laughing. Like, I remember the exact second sitting on a panel as they came out that I think the video that he was at a trip, they said, oh yeah, she's finally free. She was never held captive. Laughing, joking. And the amount of disgust I felt for that, I'm just like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all don't care about that girl. And on to the topic of they look at that girl and they say she shouldn't get it because she ain't gone through the struggle. I think everyone has said that. She has not gone through the lessons. Y'all want her to have a Mariah Scientist, Summer Walker type of love. That's what y'all want that girl to have. Y'all want her to have that. Y'all don't get on Young Thug's ass enough for what he did to Mariah. We saw that in 4K with audios. And y'all don't whack him enough for that. Rich the Kid. We've had several examples and y'all are jumping down this man's throat. Y'all are subscribing all y'all's beliefs to this man. They're like, well, I would never. It's not your man. That's not your penis. Leave that man alone. That man is supportive. He's kind. And they're like, well, we need a statement. He needs to defend himself. Defend himself against lies and slander that had no evidence? Like, I absolutely don't understand. Like, in the amount of conservative behavior, I am 27 years old. I said, I want the real hoes back. I want the real hoochies back. Yeah, like, I said, at 21, I was bisexual and out here living my best life. Y'all wouldn't want, my boyfriend Tom should have been scared of me in the club. I'm taking a bitch home that night. I don't understand what y'all are scared of. My man should have been scared of me, not him. Like, I'm confused, and I'm really confused. I don't know where this conservative rhetoric is coming from, but it is quite disturbing for me to see this curve. And these are young people. I even had my 14-year-old niece, she's listening to me talk to my homegirl on the phone. She say, oh yeah, I believe him too. Oh, obviously we need to have a conversation because you're not being taught somewhere, because that's not how we're going to roll in this house. There's communication. There is so much that goes into a relationship, and they've shown us a healthy relationship where he lets her shine. Y'all need to let it go. Wrap it up. This man went to a strip club. He was networking. Shut up. I'm sorry. You have
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
You'll be pissing me off.
That was too much ice, Tina.
Look at the comments, Jules. What you say?
That was too much ice, Tina.
I'm just saying.
Sorry.
Okay. I want Anne to give her thoughts because Anne hasn't said anything yet, and then I'll come back up to you, Nikki.
Some of that is, never mind.
Hey, beautiful people. I'd like to say, Shalacers, this is what 90s fine looks like. These two over here, y'all just jealous
Period.
Let me stop playing. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for the
Get
question.
it.
What was I gonna say? I think they associate black women, especially beautiful dark-skinned black women, such as Olandria herself, with struggle love. Let her be great, yo. Let Olandria and Nick be great. Listen, I wasn't a fan of Nick at first. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Because I was side-eyeing the man. I mean, not because he's white, but because, I felt like in the villa, like, he was a little bit two-faced with Honda Civic. He's like, I want you out of here, but at the same time he had empathy for her. But I think he's just, trying to be a good human. And it's hard with Honda Civic's attitude, to be like, even though I don't want you here, I still have grace for you. And that's okay. Move on to where shit stays. Where are we moving on to, sis?
Just give your thoughts, and
Oh, you know me, I'm always looking at the comments. You can move on out this live if you're not liking what we have to say. Don't play
no,
with
she
me.
that follows me, they're fine. They're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bark.
Listen, here's the thing. Whenever I get overstimulated by the Love Island, I do take a break. So I do suggest that for some of y'all. Because the parasocial relationships have become, it's too much. It's too much. It's just too much. Now, here's the thing, Tina. I do have a couple of questions like, who is Destiny?
Destiny is
And
the
did
girl
she
that
agree
made the
about
video.
shooting
She's the one that made the TikTok. Will you get the
a TikTok? Thank you, Daniela, for the gifts. The TikTok about what?
that said that Nick was in the club?
All right.
That's her name.
Again, with the
Destiny.
parasocial relationships. All right. Here's the thing. Thank you for that, Tina.
You're welcome, boo.
Like, why is everyone always grabbing a phone every time they see the Love Island boys? First it's Brian, then they saying shit about Pepe, and y'all just always grabbing your phone. Like, y'all want clout so bad. Y'all want clout so they literally just got off the island a few months ago. Relax. Y'all making these, I mean, like, listen, I'm not the one to stand up for the phallus carriers. However, I will say this. Why y'all on their DICK so much? Like, seriously, get a life. It's exhausting. That's all. Not somebody saying surveillance state. Period. I'ma head out.
I feel like the craziest part about all of that is that she explicitly was not supposed to be recorded. Not supposed to. So it was important enough to her. What she thought she was going to gain from that was important enough to violate that policy, and that is interesting to me. That cloud, I guess, is a hell of a drug or something. I don't actually know. Because y'all know I'm just really getting comfortable with y'all even engaging with my content and talking to me and shit. Like, so I don't understand it.
Fame lights up that area of the brain that where addiction is.
Does
It
it?
gives the same type of, yes, it does. It gives the same type of like dopamine rush. So, to be honest, anything could be a drug at this point in time. Not the clout demon. Wow. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, thank you, Ann. Okay, Nikki, give us your thoughts.
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and, first of all, I'm very glad that I grew up in the age where there is no digital footprints. I missed the documentary by a couple years at Freaknik. I'm throwing it out there. So glad I wasn't in that documentary. So I will say, let's talk about I will start here. Let's talk about the misogynoir of it all and the white supremacy of it all. Because this is what's bothered me the most. And this happened, and this is it's a trend amongst the Black community online in particular, is that we have a tendency to turn on each other as opposed to really trying to combat white supremacy as a whole. And this is and just like you can be a woman and be misogynist, you can be a Black woman and participate in misogynoir. And that's what I'm seeing. because a lot of what's happened when this picture came out and I saw the turn, and I've been screaming from the rooftops, it was bound to happen. I didn't think it would happen this way, but it was bound to happen. One of the first thoughts I said was, what happened? I saw the post and I was just like, so why are people jumping ship? Because I was just like, the issue I had was, who took this picture? Who took this recording? Like, that is an invasion of privacy. And the fact that didn't clock into people right away and it went straight to Nick, I was just like, and then, specifically a lot of the Ola dolls, held spaces, like Jules was saying. I was, it made me think, like, okay, a lot of people that say that they are Ola supporters, y'all have never been loved properly. And that made me sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing that made me sad was, not only do you like struggle love, but because the misogynoir and the self-hate is so deep in you, you would rather see Ola do this on her own than do this with anybody else. You are more comfortable seeing Alandria be single than with her being loved properly.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me sad as Black women, that we have a large amount of self-hate, that we have internalized, misogynoir and white supremacy, that because of how she grew up and the struggle that it took for her to get to where she is, that she deserves to stay where she is. That's her place in life. You are comfortable with that. You are comfortable with that. So I think we have work to do. And we really need to have serious conversations amongst Black women outside of this whole situation about where we are not feeling that we cannot support. Listen, I wish I had an Alandria when I was her age to look up to. Those really weren't seen and didn't exist. That's why I'm so proud to support this young lady.
Yeah.
So, sentiments that everybody else shared, but I would love for us to have more conversations around that, Tina, going forward, because I do think that is, because at the end of the day, we see in our society the enormous attack on Black women, prominent Black women, and we are not highlighting the attack on all of us. We're internalizing it and somehow feeling that is deserved. That is deserved. So, and before I go, I know my time is running out. I just want to say, for the Sia of it all, there was a live that Sia hosted. Girl, listen. I was up till 5. I could not. Till 5. I could not shenanigans to kind of get to bait her. The whole time she was talking, because people kept having this rhetoric. This is a hot take. People kept having this rhetoric that Sia was not Destiny's friend. And I was just like, I don't think that's the case at all. I just don't think Sia is well. I think Sia is on something. I was cackling at the beginning. It was funny. But the more and more I started seeing her behavior and seeing that she was on the heroin, I was just like, my God. I was just like, this lady does this young woman probably does not have, the brain is fried. She probably went and thought she was defending her friend and was just like, here's the proof, without even thinking That's why when you saw in Colin's live, she sent 3 text messages, and then Colin went to read, and all of a sudden now it's 2, and now and then she sent the whole thing, and now you're seeing on Destiny's live her admitting that she sent the text messages without redacting the part where he curved her.
And said, "I'm not buying dancers." He
Right.
wasn't buying dancers.
Right. So for people to not clock that and really understand, like, these are unwell people. And listen, Tina, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. When I went through Destiny's page, I was just like, oh, she is definitely bringing light to a lot of political issues that I too share. So I was very, very confused about how this came to be. But again, I did not grow up on the age of internet. That's the only grace I'm going to give her. I did not grow up in the age of internet, and I also don't work in an industry where it's completely male-centered and it's all about getting clout and being seen and getting your next. I don't know that world. I'm not interested in that world. That's never going to be my world. So that's the only grace that I will ever allow for that. But
can I give you a little bit of pushback right there?
Gigi, okay, go ahead.
Hold on. No. It's, well, maybe not pushback. A little bit of perspective. I wouldn't even allow her that grace because Colin said something that actually it lit up a light bulb in my head, though. Because even though she you know what her content gave me versus what we saw, it gave somebody who is accustomed to dealing with the Sias in her life. And when she realized, and let Sia put a battery in her back, because I don't know if y'all clocked it, because Sia kept saying, oh, I didn't post it. I just told her to post it.
She did.
So she was trying to clear herself. She kept saying, I didn't post it. But I think that what happened was when Destiny realized that girl put her information out there and put those things out there, she tried to pivot, but she was treating the rest of the world on the internet. She was treating the rest of them like they were a Sia. Sia seemed like somebody who you could say shit and it's gonna go over your head. Cause the way Sanko ran that girl in circles,
for real,
it is what it was. So even though I can agree, I resonated with some of her policies. It very much gave somebody who was accustomed to dealing with Sias, and she was the smartest person in her group, and she thought she could outsmart the rest of the internet, and that was her problem.
That is, I will give you absolutely. I'm so glad.
And for that, I will not give her any grace because she knew what she was doing, but she thought she was going to outrun the rest of the internet with circling around, and talking in circles, going, "Well, you guys are missing the point of the videos. You guys aren't watching." No, but we watched it. We watched that blurry ass mermaid video on your iPhone 16 that you couldn't catch a clear video of for whatever reason, and then you created Aesop. We're gonna call you Aesop. Because all these fables you out here with these blurry ass Bigfoot photos, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think both things are true. Because I do believe that her political stances that align with mine are very similar. I just think that how she moves in the world, it doesn't align with the broader spectrum of
I think that's
things.
Yeah, but I think that's shaped by the people that she surrounds herself with, because she's probably surrounded by people who go, "Ooh, girl, yeah, you're right," in everything she does. So that puts a battery in her back. So she thinks that she can approach everybody like that with anything she does. And that's a dangerous combination, especially because, what is it you always say? A broken clock, right twice a day.
Right twice a day. Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, I think that Sia in particular is I think Sia is in a lot more trouble, because one thing that she mentioned on that live is that maybe she should off herself.
Ooh, yep.
Yes,
she
said
did
that.
She did.
And that's what made me concerned for her.
Sia said that maybe she should offer herself, or that maybe Destiny.
She said no. She said, because she was talking to Sanko, and she said, "What would happen if I off myself tomorrow? Then how would you feel?"
Yeah.
What?
And she said it like 3 times. Maybe I should off myself.
Yep.
And the way she
I
was,
wouldn't
that's
take
what I
that
was
as
just saying.
joking, Lauren,
Yeah, I
because
wouldn't.
I would
she looked unwell.
know.
She looked
She
unwell.
looked
I wouldn't take that as
unwell.
joking.
She looked unwell. And I was just like, and that just made me be like, see what happens when you do something for clout, call it a joke, have the pushback, and then realize the damages that are being done. When you are an unwell person, those dark thoughts happen. I hope the girl is alive. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That's scary, honestly. And this is why, again, back to me saying, but people do that though, right? People do that. People say, oh, they say it and they're like, I'm just joking. I never, as a clinician, I never take that as a joke. Like without knowing my client very, very well. And she's a stranger on the internet. So for her to be saying that, and I know people, I'm gonna just debunk this for 2 seconds, okay? People that say, oh, they're just seeking attention, whatever. I actually, as a clinician, don't think there's something inherently wrong with that. People need connection. And so if that is the way that she is looking for connection, then that speaks to something far deeper than what happened on the internet this weekend, right? And what that speaks to is that there is something else going on for that girl that has nothing to do with what happened on the internet. And this is why y'all haven't really seen me go too hard on them, honestly, because I do feel like there has to be a certain level of like, there's something else to feel like that is the only way that you can have. You just got to be mindful of the people that feel like they can only find love and acceptance with strangers on the internet. No shade to her, but there's a creator on here who got really, really famous during Love Island this season. And she had a moment where she was on live and was sort of like losing it and saying that she was going to unalive. And people came into my DMs about it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be cautious of who you engage with and how, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with y'all talking shit about them, privately in your group chats or amongst each other, whatever. I would just encourage all of us, as usual, not to like seek them out. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what, Tina, real quick, to
Yeah.
just add on to that, is that when I saw that, I was just like, oh, because she's in that circle and that, like Jesus said, Destiny is the smart one in the group, and Sia is allowed to be there tagging along. I was just like, she is up, like she knows that she messed up. She knows she messed up. And the one group of girls that accepted her, she could be on the outs. And I think that was a part of why she was so distraught and, on the Heron.
To people asking, so now we're getting into the psychology of it, right? And then I'm gonna let Anika talk. To people asking why go public and like share these things when you clearly have your own things that you're struggling with, that's not always clear to people. That's not always obvious to people, right? It is much easier on the outside looking in, and it's not even always all obvious on the outside looking in. There are lots of people that will say they didn't realize something was happening until something happens. So it's not always obvious to people. People don't always know that they're struggling and that they need to be dealing with their shit, right? It definitely was about clout and virality. They've already said that. We don't have to speculate. They told us, right? So we know that for a fact. And you have to wonder, what was that feeding in them? What was that feeding in them, right? What need was that meeting? And then the question would be, because I always try to get y'all to think about it from your own selves, right? The question would be, if I find myself needing to be fed in this way, what is that need and how can maybe I meet it a different type of way? Because there is a need that's there, and I don't think that they're going about it in like a healthy way at all. And I'm still going to acknowledge that I'm hearing a need based on what she said. Okay, Anika, please give us your thoughts.
Okay, good morning, because it's morning time in Trinidad. It's almost 1 a.m. Anyways, so I have many thoughts. The first of which I will start off by saying is, you know, when it comes to the reactions to this entire thing, it is very, very weird to me. And this is why. When the thing first started to emerge, I was like, okay, so what did Nick do? How was he cheating? What exactly happened? And then I saw these pictures where he's sitting on a chair and this person is talking to him. And I'm like, okay, why are the reactions so visceral? And then I remembered a few years ago, maybe a couple of years ago, Chance the Rapper went to Jamaica Carnival, because I started to think it was a cultural thing on my end that I am numb to, because I didn't see the big deal. Because Chance the Rapper went to Jamaica Carnival, a girl whined on him, which is something that normally happens in Carnival. There is nothing to it. I mean, you get physically close to somebody and they back on you. So, it's kind of like you're dry humping in a sense. And the internet went crazy and all of us in the Caribbean were like, well, yeah, this is what happens. What is the big deal? And I had that same kind of thing. Okay, so he in a strip club. What he did? He touched the girl. He got a lap dance. What happened? I don't understand what's going on here. And then I started to look at other reactions about, people coming down on Nick and kind of glorifying in the fact that it's possible that he cheated on her and she should have dumped him. And I'm like, yo, this thing is getting a little bit too wild for me. And then I started to look at some other reactions and I realized that these people were waiting for any kind of shoe to drop. And this is about putting Olandria in her place. This is about a dark-skinned Black woman who should not be where she is. She should not be the main character. She should have remained the sidekick that she was supposed to be in the villa. She should just have been grateful for the opportunity to be on Love Island. And she should just be, on the side, taking whatever is dished out to her. And here she is, getting all the attention, all the focus, all the love, and it is bothering the crap out of people. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason. Mm-hmm. You all need to work on whatever is going on inside of you. Some people, the way I see it, some people are just happy or some people feel better about themselves when they can make other people look and feel bad. And I think this is what is happening with Olandria. I think this is what the reaction is about. They are so desperate to pull this girl down, to tear her down from not even the pedestal they put her on, but where she has been elevated to by her own strategy and her own moves, that they hate to see it. And then today I looked at a video. I actually went on Destiny's page and I looked at the latest video that she did, where her eyes looked very red and swollen. She looked very tired. She sounded very confused. She was answering the critics and just jumping all over the place with all the explanations and saying she's not racist. I'm not racist. I think Olandria is so pretty. She's ethereal. She's really pretty. So I don't understand where the racism is coming from. And this and she's just hopping all over the place. And I'm like, this is what self-immolation looks like. You see, when you decide to get gassed up by somebody and you light a match and you set your ass on fire, this is what happens at the end of it. So take the fire and take all that is with it and let that be a lesson to others who might attempt to do the same thing. Because Alan did it with the interview. Look at what happened to him. You doing it now, look at what happened to you. And you are, what is mind-boggling to me, if there is an unwritten policy or a known code that you are not to invade the privacy of patrons in a club, why the hell did you take the picture in the first place? What was the reason for taking the picture in the first place? Why? What was the purpose? What did you think was going to happen? And then when you listen to her video, she is lying by omission. All the backtracking and jumping and leapfrogging that she was doing, she was just all over the place. So that says to me, listen, chick, come off the internet, take a break, don't say nothing, go back to your work. Hopefully things will simmer down in a couple of weeks and people will forget your existence and your life could go back to being relatively normal. But yeah, don't pull shit that you can't handle. Their actions have consequences, and that was the consequence of what you wanted to do. You wanted clout, and you got a clout. As a matter of fact, you got several clouts at the back of your head all over the internet. And basically, that is how I feel about the whole thing. I honestly don't see the big deal. I mean, as I said, I was wondering because I'm like, I think I'm a bit conservative in terms of certain things, but I didn't see the big deal
Wasn't one.
of Nick going into a club. There was nothing wrong with it. Was the issue? I don't understand it. I really don't. And I think I also wondered whether or not a lot of the people who are complaining are actually people who do not have much life experience, who do not understand or haven't been exposed enough and are thinking in a very linear manner and looking at things black and white and this is it and this is not it and this is how it's supposed to be, and not understanding that people's relationship dynamics, it's not your business, first off. Secondly, these people are human beings. They are entitled to conduct themselves in the way that they choose to. I don't even think it's a pedestal they put them on. I think is a gilded cage they've put them in, and they expect them to act in that gilded cage or in that fishbowl, and they see every little move in the fishbowl. Rubbish.
Yeah.
Dump the fishbowl and go outside and go for a hike, do some charity, read a book, something, but get your head out of that space. And that is what I basically think of everything.
Thank you. They cannot separate. Yeah, I agree. I feel like they cannot separate themselves from Love Island. Like, they think that these people are still on the island, and they're only interacting with them as though they are still on the island.
Can I add something to that, Tina?
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that wholeheartedly. Thank you, Anika. That was really good. What they were saying was, I was listening to other people talk about how are they not going to see each other? They're still in the honeymoon stage. Why are they not around each other? Why are they this? I said, they're no longer in the villa, my loves. They are not going to be around each other 24/7. And why are y'all timing the distance between the hotel? How'd y'all even find that out? The hotel and the strip club to see if they can get together quick enough. That's not your business. That is borderline insanity. That is beyond stan culture at that point. Why do we even know that? Why do you even care? Is the question. So I'm just really confused as to how y'all don't see this as crossing the line. No healthy relationship is someone spending 24/7 together. That's codependency on somebody. That is you not knowing how to have a life outside of that person. That's what builds unhealthy things in a relationship, because if that relationship ends, you've already burnt so many bridges and so many things in your life that you don't have anything once that relationship ends. They need to be separated. So what if they're in the same city? Y'all don't even know what their contract. They were like, well, the F1 events was over. You don't know what their contract was. So how are you going to tell them they could have been together? Their contract could have stated that they couldn't do anything. Y'all have no clue what went on with those people's business. So why are y'all so deep into it? It's just ridiculous. But that's all I want to say. Just to body off that. People don't understand healthy relationship boundaries.
That's another thing I want to add. Oh, sorry. That's another thing that I want to add, right? A lot of people that I think have this like opinion about this are people that, again, have very little like relationship experience. And they're the type of people that like, they have friends until they get a man. And then all of a sudden you don't ever see them, you don't ever hear from them. And then as soon as they break up or the relationship is whack, then they back in your face again. And it's like they be using their friendships as placeholders for romantic relationships, right? And a lot of the people that I feel like are having this sort of reaction, they cannot understand them not being up under each other 24/7. It's because that's how they would act if they had a person, is all of their life and all of their identity outside of their person would no longer be existence. Like it would not be a thing anymore. It would be all about just their relationship. And actually that's gross and that's odd and that's weird and it's something that people should not, they should do much less often than that.
Tina, can I just add on to that real quick? Because me and my best friend had that moment. I will say that my best friend at times is very much male centered, even still to this day. And I'm constantly, when she gets into a new relationship or starts a new, like, situationship, whatever you want to call it these days, I'm constantly being like, girl, you need to pick up my calls. You're doing it again. But we had this conversation when we were in our 20s. She's been my best friend for over 25 years. But I literally had to sit down and be like, this is a pattern. Every time, we go from one day talking every single day to, I'm calling you and you're not calling me. This friendship is not reciprocal. And that's what I look for in every relationship. I look for reciprocity. It's just and that's what I'm saying. Like, people are not connecting the dots between how you move in your platonic relationships and how you're moving in romantic relationships. They should operate in very similar ways.
Somebody said people are saying they haven't seen each other in 5 days. Listen, it's giving. I'm about to be shady. It's giving how people be thinking they want a man that got money, but you don't actually know what it takes to have a man that has money. Because if not seeing your person
How do you know that? But how do you know that we haven't seen each other in 5 days? Because they didn't post?
And they don't know that.
That's okay. May that kind of love find me in my next life, please.
Okay, Noelle, please give us your thoughts. Welcome to the panel.
Hi. Yeah, I think that people need to stop assuming, like, we can love Alandria, we can relate to her. People need to stop thinking that they know her better than she knows herself. I think there's a lot of people that, are like, well, Alandria would never stand for this, Alandria would never stand for that. I'm like, okay, we don't know her. We can root for her. We can relate to her. We can, identify with her, but people need to stop speaking for her and setting boundaries for her, and then acting on those boundaries. And I in a live earlier, I had compared it to, like, you could be vegan forever, for example, and say, like, hey, I think it's unethical to eat meat or whatever else. Does that mean that if you see Alandria chowing down on a burger, you need to send them DTs, you need to, email their brands, try to get them canceled? And I'm like, no, you have your own personal convictions, your own personal morals, boundaries, etc., and projecting it on other people, and then trying to undermine, like, their lives if they don't measure up to your personal morals. Yeah, people need to get a life. I think that there's been multiple instances of people display, like, within, I think, their own fan base, whether it's the Allen apology saga or whatever else. There's been multiple instances of people, like, kind of turning on them, which I think is really, like, sad and disgusting. People need to take a step back and, like I said, kind of stay in a fan's place. Yeah, and just stop projecting on others. So I don't think we should be surprised if they kind of pull back even further, in terms of keeping things private, etc., than they already have.
Yeah. I think you're right, Noelle. Like, I've said always that I felt like they needed to have boundaries with the fans, but I think that it's even worse now than what I could have imagined the fan base doing. But the people really desire to lift people up. Not everybody, right? But we're talking about the people that act like this, right? They desire to lift people up simply so they can take them back down. And so you have got to be mindful of, like, how much you give people.
Oh, one other thing. Sorry, I forgot to say. It is also so interesting / frustrating to see so many. There's, every time some little things happen, all the people come out that say, see, I knew he wasn't good enough. I knew XYZ, and show that they don't actually value Alandria as much as they say they do, as they continue to ship her with, professional athletes or certain other people. And it's like, okay, looking at the stats of those types of relations, like, well, let me not even get into there because I don't want to shade anybody who's like married to one or whatever else. But I'm like, instead of listening to her in terms of what her experience is, in terms of feeling heard, feeling appreciated, feeling supported, feeling emotionally understood, and everything that she has affirmed, people continue to undermine that she doesn't know what's best for her, that she doesn't see everything that we see, that she doesn't know what's going on, and that they somehow know better, know what's better for her, and show that really what they want is to kind of sell her to the highest bidder. You don't actually value her. You don't want her where she thinks she'd be happiest or where she feels more supported. You want her with something that you think optically looks better, or somebody that has like more money, etc. So which I don't know. That is really bothersome to me. So, and I'm really tired of people that claim to love her continuing to publicly undermine her in that way.
Yeah, how can you love someone and then basically say that they're basically infantilizing her and saying she doesn't know good enough. And I think I honestly blame Love Island for this because they're the ones that gave the first narrative of like, look how silly she is. She doesn't know that this man doesn't like her back, right? With 3D. And at the time, yeah, we are watching the confessionals and she's not, but she's not, right? So she doesn't know that, right? This is not that. Yeah.
Can I also say really quickly that the other side of it that pisses me off, no, like for real, is the fact that some people be like, oh, all this to excuse a white man. Y'all give all this white man excuse. And I have said time and again that it's not about excusing a white man. It's not about excusing a man, period. It's about right or wrong, because as much as I'm not a fan of them, if this were Chris, if this were the Homo sapien, if this were Taylor, if this were Alan, I'd defend them too, because it's wrong. You had two women who sat here and plotted to fabricate something about another individual to tarnish their image and capitalize off of this. What happened to just defending defending people from wrong behavior? Like, what happened to just that? The way that people are just trying to simplify it with, oh, y'all are just always want to defend a white man. No, I've been shouting from the rooftops all summer long that I'm pissed off y'all made me defend a white man in the face of two black men, no less, who played in a black woman's face, who admitted to playing back. Like, so please miss me with the bullshit.
And Tina, just to add real quickly onto what you were saying, not only do they want to knock her down, but this is the white supremacy of it all. We love to talk about the white savior complex. You want to knock her down in order for you to say that you build her back up. You were the black woman that lifted her up in her time of downfall when actively participating in her downfall. That's what's wild to me. Wild. And lastly, I've been dying to do this all day. Noelle. Noelle! I had to do it. If you know, you know.
Yeah. I said to somebody earlier, oh God, I wish I still had a ringtone for my phone because I know what I'd be changing it to.
Definitely need to get that done. Absolutely. And that is not going away until after the holidays, by the way. Just want to throw that out there.
That's so funny. Do y'all remember when we actually had
Not gonna lie, Noelle, I was a little scared for you, considering the girl in the ad's name was Noelle. I was like, ooh, girl, you already went viral for crying over this white man. What if they turn around and say, what if the new lore is Noelle? That's the reason why they put your name in the ad.
Red string theory.
Red string.
That's gonna be the new lore. Noelle, watch your back, girl. They coming for you.
And Gigi, that had just died down. Like, people didn't know that was me. Like, why are you bringing
now
back
it's out there.
My moment of
all
fame.
423 of you. And while I'm here, please tap up this live. We should have been at 200K by now. It's 422 of you in here.
On God, I haven't been watching it because I'm making banana pudding, but do not take advantage, okay? Somebody said controversial take, but this is why I don't believe all women. Now y'all know that I believe all women. But I would say that this, in my opinion, doesn't fall under that because this is not like an accusation of like some assault or, like this is not that. This is just like a girl saying a man was somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just believe everything people say, but I will believe every single accusation. Does that make sense? Like, I will believe
Makes
accusations
sense.
because there's very little. I'd rather go down as, oops, I believe somebody that was lying than to be like, I said a great victim was lying. Like that, I wouldn't be able to sit right with myself. But this is not that for me. Anybody that is on the internet trying to do a kiki as a form of like slander to someone, that's not the same. That's not the same to me. Y'all, I told y'all don't feed Shello. Just let them speak into the abyss.
Shello, it's the witching hour where I'm at. Ain't it bedtime?
Shello was on Thanksgiving break for y'all.
The
That's it.
boogeyman gonna come for you, Shello, if you don't stop. Go to bed. You know you
I've
gotta
been
hide under the
praying.
covers. That's what black people do. You hide under the covers so the
Shello,
boogeyman
I've
don't
been
get you.
praying
Go
for
on hide,
you.
baby. Go on hide.
I've been
Not
Plug
praying
like
for
that
the
phone
you.
up
boogie
into the
baby.
wall and go and hide, please.
You gonna come. You gonna come to the right side. I know. I know. Eventually,
That's why
being
Shello
in
be
here, you
here.
gonna
They
come to
want
the
to be
right
on the
side.
side so bad. No,
No, they don't have
the
school.
kids
It's
are on break
Thanksgiving
right
break for
now.
most places. Cello on Thanksgiving break. Go. Don't you have a midterm due? I know they gave you a break packet. I know they gave you a packet to do over the break. Don't you got a midterm to turn in when you get back, baby? Go do your
A
homework.
worksheet, a worksheet or something.
Oh, y'all, we gonna convert Shello.
Cello's cool,
Okay.
y'all. Not too much on cello in the chat. Not too much on cello in the chat. We love cello.
All right. I see your question. This is Shello's form of connection. Listen, that's why we don't do too much. Okay. Seventh letter. Please give us your thoughts when you to the panel.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
This is my first time up. Hi. Okay.
Hello, period.
Thank you. So, this whole scenario, I've never seen a lie unfold so quickly on social media that created a scandal like this. I feel like a lot of the commentary came from, it was like ignited because everybody's super parasocial about seeing Nick and Olandria together when they knew, oh, they're both in Vegas. We're going to get content. We're going to get pictures. And that never happened. So then these girls come up with this negative narrative and everybody believed it so quickly just because they didn't see pictures of them together, not understanding they're there. Yes, it's fun, but they're working. They're on a brand trip. And then obviously you don't understand the culture of what is it, spicy clubs. You don't understand the culture of Vegas. You don't understand the culture of people being in a relationship with proper communication towards one another and not having to explain every move they make to the internet. So I hear people saying that the people that are making these negative comments are not just younger people. It gave younger people to me because it just didn't seem like people had enough life experience, social experience, and then just experience in adult spaces where you're not supposed to be taking pictures. Like I really don't understand why they thought that they were going to run like as traveling spicy dancers. Like, you hurting your own bag because now you look like a whistleblower. You're untrustworthy. You come out saying, oh, we have bigger people than this to, I guess, what, embarrass? I don't know. Blow their spot up. I don't know why you would do it at all because there's a code of conduct in places like that. It just makes absolutely no sense. And then hearing about these Ola dolls, I did not know that they were rocking like that on Twitter, having, because I don't have Twitter, but they're on Twitter Spaces, like having these conversations about how they hate Olandria, but they call themselves Ola dolls. Like, make it make sense. I don't get it. I don't get it. Tina, I do have a question for you. I know these girls didn't end up coming, but what was going to be like the line of thought and, engagement with them if they did come?
That's a
Honestly,
really good
y'all,
question.
it would have been the first time that y'all seen me act like a therapist for real on the internet. Because I was very curious about the psychology behind it. really wanted to kind of dig into them as people and what prompted this behavior. That's what I was curious about.
I'm sorry, Tina, love, your audio is going in and out, love.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Now it's better.
You're
Okay.
you're moving around, and when you move around, we kind of lose a little bit of what you said.
Okay, let me stay focused for 2 seconds. I really wanted to get, like someone said, like an intervention. I really wanted to get into psychology of like what was motivating the behavior. I really wanted to hear a bit from them as to what else was going on. Why did we engage in this sort of behavior? What was motivating us? Why did we show up this way? What did we think we were going to gain from these things? What is it that, you know what I mean? Like I was curious about the psychology of it, obviously. And that's really what I wanted to like give them the space to share about. But it sounds like y'all have seen them on live and maybe
That's what I was gonna say. Even after the way they responded to like the questions they were being asked on live, I did see them on Colin's live. I did not see the other one that I think Nikki was speaking of, where Sia or whatever her name is was on there. I did not see that one, but the way that Desiree was responding, like Colin was even getting frustrated. Like, I'm gonna explain to you again what you said, and that's all I'm basing what I'm reporting on. It's what you said. It's the text messages that I have. So it just doesn't, I don't know, but obviously with you being a therapist, you know how to ask questions to get people to explain themselves. But them girls didn't seem wrapped too tight. They did seem like they were on something and not really fully there every time that they were speaking. So
and people were just asking for me to bring them up. Am I dropping this recipe? Honestly, it's not anything special in my opinion. I jokingly say that like everybody's like, oh my god, your banana pudding is so good, and I'm like, it's just because I make it with like a lot of love and intention, honestly, and I'm not like that's why, because I just make it with a lot of love and intention. But I'm happy to like post y'all a little picture of it afterwards. It's a big ass pan. Look at this. Hold on. Wait, can y'all see how big? Wait, can you see it?
it's cut off.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me flip my camera. Hold on. I'm about to look like an unseed. Hold on. I am an unseed, so I don't care. Okay, here we go. Anyway, girl, you are. But this is pretty massive, and that's just the first pan. So we'll be here for a little second. Oh yeah, this is the pot that all the pudding is in. Okay, so it's pretty decent size. Okay. But yeah, I don't think that like based on what y'all were saying, it does seem like maybe they are unwell. I'm wondering. Somebody said, you know, as Nicolandrians, when are we doing too much? Or like, what is it that we're doing that might be doing too much?
What somebody said, tracking the distance between their hotels and the strip club, that's crazy. Like, I did not know people were going that crazy. That is insane to me.
I mean, that's not happening on my end of the internet with Nick.
Mine either, thank God.
Yeah, that's weird.
That is the least of it.
Also,
That
it
is
goes
the
to
least
show
of it,
that
to
you've
be
never
honest.
been to Vegas, because if you have never walked the Vegas block, y'all
Okay.
crazy.
Okay. But I think
Them
it goes
Vegas blocks
to
ain't no
That
damn
is the
joke.
least of it.
I think that goes to what Gigi has been saying. Like, it's beyond parasocial. It's stalkerish. It's too much. Like, you cannot control. They're not in that confined space of the villa any longer. There are real people living their real lives. Like, all of the stuff that we see, the most glamorous side of what they're doing. Their day in and day out is probably extremely stressful, hectic, and all of that. So thinking that you can control their every move, or feeling like because they're not moving the way that you want to visibly see them online, that means that there's trouble in paradise, is just crazy. That's why I feel like these are younger, inexperienced people, or people projecting that have had traumatic experiences and they don't see life any other way.
And if I'm being real, and if I'm being honest, I'm in a lot of Nick Landry communities on Twitter, as you know, and also Spaces lives here. The only time I hear that is on TikTok is during lives by people who are acclaimed Ola dolls. I hate to put a blanket statement on one community, but I mean, that's just been my experience.
Mm-hmm.
I
Monique, you're
heard
not.
that they are her ops. So
No, definitely her option. Monique, you're correct. You're so correct because they showed out today. Showed their behinds. That's why I heard of 7 minutes before. I said, not 7 minutes. Absolutely not. Pull it together.
And then there's a there is a I don't want to use the word attack, but a conversation around Colin and what he did. I scrolled up onto a live about someone saying that these girls, this is what I'm talking about, these girls receiving DTs, and that somehow that was Colin's fault for bringing it to the, bringing it to light. And as you
that's
know,
not even how he operates.
that's
It's
not
not
even
his
how he
fault.
operates. And he even said, like, when this broke, he came in late. And how he operates is that he even explained it in his life that when things a lot of times where content creators get messed up is that they take the first thing, they want to be the first person to break it. He doesn't do that. He's just like, if I see that I missed something, I wait. I collect information. If something new happens, then he's on there. And that is why Destiny called him out specifically, because she's the one that called him his post specifically, and he responded to that post. She kept on responding, and then he had to clear his name because she was trying to discredit his platform. So we're like, the whole conversation keeps, the goalpost keeps moving in order for them to maintain that they were right about Nick all along, when y'all know y'all were proven wrong, and your egos just won't let y'all take the L.
It, exactly.
You know what I think is the most evil thing about all this and her reaction to all this? When she was asked on her live, and this is how you got to know, like, I can't take her seriously or anything she says seriously anymore from this point on. Because when she got on her live and somebody was asking her, well, you know that as a result of what you did, Nick and his family, his sister, his dad, all of them, his mom, they're all getting DTs. They're all doing these things, right? And her response was, well, they have a fan base, they have money, so they'll be all right.
That's
That's some evil ass
crazy.
shit.
That's
That's some
why
evil shit.
that's why her playing victim is blowing me, because you don't get to F over people and their lives, livelihood, and whatever else. And then when you're being held accountable, you get to play victim and say that Colin is sending the whole internet on them, or you getting dragged on Twitter or canceled on Twitter. You started this.
This
Yeah.
is a
Don't she sound like a busted Blake
perfect
Lively? I'm
I
sorry,
never
I
example.
shouldn't have
I've
said
never
that.
understood people who go public with something, because I'm like, if he was doing something criminal, go to the authorities. If he was doing something that you felt like, oh, I think he's cheating, or I think he's doing something inappropriate, then let her know. But your goal in that was not to, like, was not to make sure that Ola wasn't hurt or whatever else. Your
Yeah.
goal was to get attention. Your goal was to get clicks, and even in the text messages, what you say, go viral. And that's something I just don't like when people do. Like, you don't have to bring everything to the internet. And I'm not just saying that because, like, I support Nicolandria. I feel that way in general. It doesn't matter who it was about. Like, what is the point in making posts and going and then pretending that you didn't want the attention? Why are people
This
upset with
Exactly.
you? Why are people
exactly,
clicking on
and
you? Whatever else? Like,
this is
it
a
wasn't
this
about
is an
them.
exact this is an exact example. Honda Accord and this girl are perfect examples of Darvo. Perfect examples.
I also want people to stop acting like Olandria was born the day that we met her on Love Island. She is
Thank you.
probably the most educated and experienced person out of everybody that came on that cast that season. She talked about all of the things that she's had to do in her life experience to get her to be the independent, strong woman that she was. She did not just get a brain. Like, please, she is not stupid. And she does not need everybody's thumb on her life thinking they know better than she does or know her better than she knows herself.
Well, you see,
Please.
that also has to do with the fact, and speaking from the experience of also being a dark-skinned Black woman, that being dark skinned automatically makes you stupid, that you can't think for yourself, that you can't reason for yourself, that somehow you're less intelligent, no matter how you present yourself. Somehow you can't think. You need help. You need to be. That is where that is coming from. I'm telling you flat out, that is exactly where that is coming from.
And people claim to like, oh, we love Alandria because she's so, she's wise, she's inspirational, she's such a great model, she's so self-confident. And on the other hand, treating her like she's stupid, like she's blind, like she doesn't know it. But I'm like, okay, you don't actually hold her in high regard. You don't actually have any respect for her. Not only because of the way that you treat her judgment, but also the fact that she's repeatedly asked you, hey, this is somebody I care about. Please don't attack him. Please lay off of him. Like, he's somebody who's connected to me. You're not doing me any favors by going after him. You don't respect her because she's asked you to stop. You don't respect her choices. You don't respect her autonomy. You don't respect her ability to make her own choices.
It's literally insane. She's been in spaces she went to an HBCU. I'm an HBCU grad too. And we are taught how to move in the world with other people. Like, so she worked in this sales force where her counterparts were white males. She knows how to move and navigate in spaces and be professional and be herself and use her brain. I really don't get the back and forth with acting like, because I guess they're using the example of what Taylor and also Ace were doing to her on the show. You cannot blame a person when they are being deceived. When they find out and then they choose to move accordingly, that's when you give them the benefit of the doubt. You cannot blame them when they are being deceived and don't know any better.
But that's the internalized white supremacy of it all that I brought up earlier, is that we are so comfortable with blaming ourselves instead of blaming what Tina says. Peacock, Love Island, they set up this precedence for her to look dumb, for her to be humiliated. And that's what concerns me as Black women. Black women, we are all we have right now. We are all we have right now. And I might not be the right messenger for people to hear that, but find the messenger that you can understand the bigger picture that we're participating in.
No, Nikki, not only do I completely agree, and I'm not saying this with judgment towards anybody who did this, but not only do I completely agree, but like I watched this summer. This was my first time watching Love Island. I didn't know anything about the show beforehand, and I'll be honest, I hated the season. Nick and Alandria are kind of what the hell dragged me to the end. But one of the main things I did not like was the frame. I watched the show initially because I was excited to see Black women, particularly dark-skinned Black women, upheld as legitimate romantic interests, like pursued, seen as beautiful, desirable, like just as worthy of love. And I was not only disgusted by the way that the show set them up, the show edited them, the producers operated around them, but then the vitriol and the dialogue I saw online towards them. And it was very disappointing to see the show be very quick to release statements for certain white contestants when they were being bullied, and then say nothing, even to this day when there's been repeated victimization of the Black contestants by other members of the same show.
Yeah.
And so I had already determined, and we'd already had those conversations about how they were treated, about how they were portrayed. They had gone on podcasts and talked about the treatment. And then it was interesting to watch a lot of the same people who participated in those discussions then turn on Love Island Games and consume that. And talk about they're excited for Beyond the Villa, talk about season 8. And I'm like, after watching what, the Black contestants went through last year, after watching what Janae went through, after watching what, Alandria and Shelley went through again, I'm like, at a certain point, when do you say, this show does not really care about its particularly Black female contestants? I'm not going to support it any longer. And I'm not saying everybody has to do a mass boycott, but I'm like, at a certain point, like as a black woman, I'm like, is there a pattern we're seeing here? Are we helping to create an environment in which it kind of throws its black female contestants out to pasture and does not protect them, edits them poorly, sets them up for failure, produces them for failure, and then doesn't protect them when they are being mistreated?
Yeah. Last season was my first season watching, and my friend convinced me to watch it. And I told her beforehand, I said, I'm not a fan of dating shows where there are black women on the show and none of the men are attracted to black women. It sets them up for failure. I don't have time for it. And she encouraged me to watch it. So I watched it a little bit behind real time. And that's why people fell in love with Cordell and Serena's story, because Cordell actually, not only does he like black women, that's who he dates, and he's in community with black people, unlike somebody like a Kendall, where you saw a complete contrast between them and how they both dealt with black women and protected their feelings and allowed them to be a human and vent and be upset and run the whole gamut of feelings and emotions. So this season, when I watched, I wanted to see the same thing. Like, are y'all bringing black men on these shows that actually like black women? Because we don't need the black women to be just disrespected. I mean, and this season, this fan base is nothing like it was last year in terms of like the online craziness, racism, and disrespect. I'm not going to say that none of that existed last season, because people were going in on Serena. And it was mostly black men and black people talking crazy about Serena because she had a moment. But this year is actually crazy, more on the production side. But the difference, I would say, too, within the cast, Leah, Serena, and Janae were definitely more united. They kept saying if one of them, were fed up with how things were going, they would leave. If one of them wanted to leave, it got so bad, they would all leave. And you still see that unity amongst them today. Season 7 cast has none of that.
None of it. And honestly, if we're not paying attention to what's happening in the political sphere, you're missing how your rights have been rolled back in real time, and the results of it right now is coming to fruition, because the owners of these these media conglomerates have ceased to end any diversity programs at all. So they have the free will, with no type of stipulations, no restrictions, no recourse, to paint any marginalized person the way that they want, because they know there's no consequences at all. If y'all are not connecting these dots, this is why we are seeing this level of black woman humiliation across all platforms. I'm a Survivor nerd. I've been watching Survivor since the beginning, and it's happening in real time right now on Survivor by a black man voting out black women. This is not unique to Love Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that factors into why a lot of us decided to rally around Alandria. Not only because like there were elements of her personality and her spirit that we really like, but we saw how she was getting played with, both by people on the island and producers, and we're like, "Nah, baby, we're taking you to the top."
Exactly.
Yeah, like I know that was part of like my mindset. Like I want this woman like who has carried herself with grace, who has been such a great friend, such a great supporter to everybody else, even when nobody else really has had her back. Who obviously like prioritizes her family, who's like believes in herself. All of these elements of her spirit that I respect so much. To see her kind of be publicly like humiliated and still hold her head up high, I'm like, I want her to get everything she wants out of life. This is the type of person that I want to make sure is platformed, and I love the way that she's been using her platform so far to like uplift other black women, to uplift black people, to uplift HBCUs. She's like such a great role model. Oh, and And speaking of which, I think it's so interesting how anytime something happens, or like this weekend, I see all these, people from the peanut gallery, all these different segments of the internet that are so excited because they think that people only like Alandria because of her relationship. And they think if they're able to like bring that down, then that will somehow both subjugate her but uplift their faves. And I don't know how to tell them that that's not going to happen.
Y'all faves ain't got no motion. Y'all hate Olandria more than y'all like y'all faves because they don't have anything for y'all to celebrate. They are absolutely doing nothing. So y'all come over here thinking that y'all can bring them down and try to equal the playing field, and it's just not happening.
And I'm not saying that with shade towards any. To be fair, I'm not saying that with shade towards any Islander. I support a bunch of the Islanders. I love a bunch of the Islanders, but I think it's very interesting and low key disgusting how people are so eager to undermine Alinda's relationship as if that's the only thing that people support about her. As if there's no other element of her character that people could identify with or see as positive. As if that's the only reason that people are following her, clicking on her stuff. Buying her what she promotes, watching her YouTube, and like that. Frankly, like I love Nick and Alandria separately, but like there's a lot of us that love her, regardless of if she's single. Yeah. So I'm like, no matter how you try to like undermine her relationship, or even if they break up, she's still the star. She's still the main character.
And Nick knows that. Nick knows that she is the prize. Nick is willing, like not even willing. He knows and wants to uplift her in that way. This is not us caping for a white man. This is us rooting for this black woman to be loved properly and fully. And not only does she use her platform to uplift and bring awareness to a lot of black HBCUs, and like she's going to Harvard to speak, and like this is amazing things, but she is intentional about even the designers, the makeup she wears. She is intentional. For somebody to talk about her being with a white man, she has proven time and time again how motherfucking black and black love she is.
And can we stop acting like Reedy and Clark and Michelle and Alan are the epitome of black love when those men acted how they acted toward Alandria? Like,
and how they acted towards Shelly and Clark. Like I'm not liking that either.
If your black love is only contained within the context of a romantic dynamic, then you don't love black people.
Period.
That part.
Thank you, Tina. This was a mirror to society. This whole season was a mirror to what problems were faced outwardly. Because it's truly been a disgusting season of just, I thought we would be done. When Mecca said on there we'd be talking about this to December, I didn't believe her. I said it's impossible. But they have shown countless times of the parasocialism, the racism, the colorism, the anti-blackness, the conservative behavior, the being objective. Like, I'm confused as to where it's even like how people are still like certain people I'm seeing on panels and in comment sections are still not seeing the issue with their behavior and seeing their own flaws. I'm like, you have been corrected enough. You can come to Tina's live. There is TK's live. There are so many lives that have great people that have talked on panels to explain to you the problems of what you're saying and doing to these people. And y'all have not absorbed one darn thing. And I'm not gonna chalk it up to immaturity at this point. You have been told we are leading you. You're just not drinking the water. And it's sick. Because you're
Erica, that is absolutely my biggest problem, because I don't like to use the whole y'all have heard me say it before, like I like to welcome young people to the conversation. I like to welcome them to the table to have a conversation. My biggest issue is when you're presented with the logic, when you're told, when you're shown how 1 + 1 = 2 and you still call it 11-teen. Like, I have issues with that. Like, I have no problem with young people being at the table and having a conversation. I think it's very healthy considering y'all need to figure out what y'all gonna do with Social Security in the future. So I think it's very important for y'all to be part of this conversation, right? In all aspects of it. But when we're showing you how that 1+1 = 2, and we're showing you the work on how 1+1 = 2, and you still call it 11-teen, I have a problem with that.
Do you feel like it's resistance or just lack of comprehension?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Can I answer that? I think we live in an age where, because people have platforms, people are in the age of information, people can go to anywhere and feel validated and then call it truth. I mean, we lived in an era where the first administration, Kellyanne Conway,
alternative facts.
Alternative facts, right? That was an actual thing that people were that still to this day use. And like, we're not. I mean, we're at an era where nurses are not considered professionals anymore. Like, teachers are next on the line. Like, it's like, you all, I'm really, really, really concerned. Really
I'm
concerned.
sorry,
But
now
that's,
Chris, you just showing off.
I know, at this point.
Chris, you just showing off at this point.
Okay, do you want us to go,
Tina, that man
Chris?
asking for some plays
Do you
so
want us
bad.
to end this?
That
Do you want us to
nigga
end
asking for some plays so bad.
Because we waited for you in this condensed milk, and you still did not put
Chris said he ran his errands. He said he did his honeydew list. Now he want to do honey. He said he did his honeydew
Chris
list,
did
and now
not
he
put
want
on
to
the
do
screen
honey.
recording.
We taking up too much of the time.
And Chris did not put on the screen recording. We waited for an hour. Okay.
So we was waiting
Girl,
on
stop.
him.
That condensed milk. Okay, we gonna let your
Chris said, I did
lady.
your honeydew list. Now I want to do honey. Girl, give my boy some
Stop
play.
it. I hope the baby is the manager in the room, because I know she is not well. Bless your heart, baby. I'm sorry, girl.
I'm sick of it.
My God, on this very day.
Chris says y'all done had Christina. It's time for X Tina.
Oh, the baby is in the room, y'all. The baby is in the room.
The manager said that's a wrap. The manager said that's a wrap.
Yeah, I love this space. I'll go ahead and do my final thoughts, because Chris is, we know we've been here long enough. We know. I am just going to leave my final thoughts very short, and use the wisdom that has been passed on from generation to generation, of my ancestors, passed on to my grandmother and my mother, when they said, when you look for trouble, you will find trouble. And that is all. Have a good night, everyone.
Beautiful thought. I am going to bring Sparkle up because Sparkle wants to share a thought. And then somebody else asked me in my comments. Tell me who I don't remember.
I'll drop. My closing thoughts is, wherever the hellions that came out the last 2 weekends, and we've had to get Tina on this live and have conversations we should not have. I want y'all to crawl back into the ocean and go back to Davy Jones locker immediately. I don't want to see y'all next weekend at all. Okay? Because I'm sick of it. I'm tired. I'm annoyed. I want to have. We ain't even getting a Thanksgiving text from Ola this year because of y'all. We're not getting no holiday pictures because of y'all. And I just be happy to see you. I'm sick of y'all. We ain't getting nothing. We ain't even getting no lives no more. Shoot, make me sick every day. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Erica. Okay, Sparkle, you're new to the panel, babe. You want to share your thoughts?
Yes. So just listening to everybody talk, I feel like a lot of the opinions that I have about the legitimacy of everything has already been shared. It's a whole bunch of nonsense. But one of the things that I think that you touched on earlier was the psychology of Sia and Destiny. And that I think is so interesting because they are all over the map. Like when Sia came on in Callan's live, when she was in the comments, whenever she would get dropped, she was going wild. You know, she was like, I'm not scared of y'all. Y'all can't do anything to me. Nothing's gonna happen to me. But then she would come up and then her whole tune would change. Like, we didn't know we were doing anything that was gonna be this crazy. You know, we're receiving backlash. We didn't really mean to do all of this. And then we saw the text messages where they basically said they did it all to go viral. And then Destiny saying multiple times on her own live that I wouldn't have done this if Sia didn't tell me to do it. Like, I didn't want to post it. I wasn't going to post it. But then, she's doubling back and saying, well, I didn't insinuate anything bad. Nothing bad happened. Like, I was just, saying what happened to me at work. So it really is just like, what is it? Were you scared to do it? Did you think you were doing something bad? You were going back and forth. You had to be convinced by Sia, or is this completely innocent and you were just talking about a celebrity that came into your job? Like, it can't be everything all at once. And then, I don't know if you've been following this case about the DoorDash girl.
No, tell me.
I have. Wake that up.
The
Yes.
manager knows. The manager knows.
The manager knows.
She said,
The manager knows the TikTok too. It's crazy. Please catch Tina up
I
on
would
more
love
of
for you
it.
to cover that for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the manager.
You have to
And
get
then y'all
into
DM
it.
me the videos or whatever.
Yes, it was a wild situation, but the reason why I thought of it was just because these two women really came with this information unprovoked. Like, this was not a situation of like a celebrity having a really negative interaction with her. It wasn't like she was done wrong in any way, like where she had to come and tell us this. She chose to do it on her own. She chose to do something that was malicious, but she doesn't want to be perceived as a malicious person. So now she's like backpedaling, making her video. I'm not a racist. I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, girl, you did all of this. You wanted to like cause chaos, cause doubt about somebody else's relationship, but now you're like trying to double back and say that you didn't do what you did and it was unprovoked. So, and then Sia basically brought all this information and blew their whole spot, which is kind of what happened in the DoorDash girl situation. She brought a situation to the internet, incriminated herself, told on herself, and ended up with multiple criminal charges. Unprovoked. She didn't have to tell any of the information that she told to the internet at all. So it's just this weird thing of like people wanting to go viral and wanting fame, but they're shocked at what the reality of going viral is like once it happens.
Yeah. What was it on here? I feel like, hold on, it is internet. Like, it's on here all the time. That's like, if you can't take it, and it's somebody else too. I can't remember whose name it is, but they're like, if you're not built for this, then like you really just should not engage. You know what I mean? You have to know how to be able to disconnect and take the hate and the heat that you're gonna receive. Sometimes you can't presume that everybody's gonna like everything that you have to say. It is what it is.
Exactly.
Wait, but can I add one thing in? But people should not weaponize that against other people, because I feel like I see people then use that same logic to justify hate. Like, oh, well, this person's on the internet. They should know that they are going to get DTs. They should know that their families are going to get, message or whatever else. People were literally flooding, like Nick's sister, for example, with messages saying like, tell your mom they raised a horrible person. Like, they're a terrible mother. They raised a disgusting son, reaching out to their mother on threads. Like, I had seen people who were targeting like Alandria's, they found like Alandria's like grandmother and mom on Facebook and said that they were gonna SA them, like all kinds of craziness.
Grandmama?
Yes. And so I'm like, but then the justification that some people use is like, well, that's what they get for being public figures. That's what they get for going on reality TV or being social media, being in a public relationship or whatever else. And I'm like, that is not the same thing. Like, yes, you should expect some measure of visibility and some measure of a lack of privacy. That does not justify people then trying to investigate your whole life, trying to dig up dirt on you, threatening your family members, like harassing them, DMing them. Like, people need to know when to draw the line.
I didn't even think the grandmama had a social media.
No, I think I had seen people found, like, they'd gone into her family's Facebooks and they found pictures of, like, I don't know if the grandmother herself has a profile, but they found pictures of her family, including pictures of her grandmother, and they were disgusting things going around, people saying that they wanted to essay her grandmother because she was fine and all kinds of things.
This new age level of threat, like, you can tell these are people who don't engage with humans in public like this. There's no way none of y'all are this tough offline to do any of this. Y'all live online and think that this is okay. It is really crazy. For what? And for
They
who?
call it
Like,
stan culture.
that is insane. Like, it's beyond that. Like you've been saying, it is beyond social. What is it? Parasocial and stands. It's beyond. There's something wrong with y'all.
Yeah, just like Meek Mill said, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
They would never do any of this in person, though. Like, never in life.
I'm gonna bring up. Wait,
when you confront them, they always pivot and say it's a joke.
Vibe, give
Let me
us
see.
your
Yeah,
thoughts.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to start off with something that I noticed in the text message, right? There was a place she said, Nicolandria is fake. I'm going to expose them, right? And this is someone who made it look like she doesn't know about Nick and Olandria. But she said they're fake because that is motive, like, oh, and she also said a friend likes Nick. So the thing is, like, even if all their plot, everything they were planning, let's assume work, Nick is still not going to pick Sia. I don't understand if they are drugged up brain to them otherwise. Then another thing is, she was able to communicate with Sia all through the night, talking about he's doing this now, he's doing that now. How come when he started getting the lap dance, there was no more messages? Why didn't she say, oh, he's getting a dance now from another girl? The messages stopped after she said he's not taking dances, right? So let's assume that happened. So how come that communication wasn't, that information wasn't communicated to Sia anymore? Because they were practically chatting all through the night, talking about what was going on in the club. So why did she stop? Because there was nothing more to communicate to Sia. Then it brings me to people who will say, I love Olandria, but I hate Nick. And my question is, if you love somebody, by extension, that means you have to respect the people that they are with. It's not because you like them, but it's just like by proxy that, okay, I like this, I love this person, but I don't like who they are with, but it's not in my place to decide who they're going to be with. So I'm just going to be cautious and just like respect them, not because I love them. It's like working with a co-worker that you don't like, but you're going to respect the office building. You're going to respect the rules and regulation in the office building. You're going to coexist with your coworker. Finish your shift, then you go. So it's the same thing. Like Olandria said, this is someone that I care about. This is someone who has introduced me to my soft gear era. This is someone who has made me understand that the things I'm asking for is not difficult. It's just I've been asking it from the wrong people. But for some reason, they still don't want to understand that. She said, this is someone in my life. When you come for him, you're not helping me. Someone who is a college grad, someone who worked in corporate America, in a male-dominated industry. She worked there and she's successful. But for some reason, you people think she's not smart enough to know what is good for her or not good for her. You want to decide the kind of man she should be in her life, how the man should behave and everything. It's her life. Whatever she wants to do, your job as a supporter is to just be supportive.
when she move, you move. But you're not going to be the one detecting, oh, this is what I want, this is how it should be in my relationship. But the good thing is that it's not your relationship, right? It's not yours to border, it's not yours to decide. Like, if you feel like, oh, this is not what I would do, then go back to your relationship, do your own relationship. And they go like, oh, she's a traditional woman. Okay, traditional can be different for everybody. There are people who will never step foot in the club because they'll say they are too traditional to even go to a clubhouse. And there are people who, like, they believe traditional value, but, they are loose about some things. So you can say, oh, but she says she's a traditional woman, then you're using that as a point. But what do you understand by when she say, I'm a traditional woman? Like, what traditional is for you might not be what traditional is for her. So at the end of the day, it comes back to she's a grown adult who can do what she wants. And she is in good mental standing to say, this is where I am right now in life. This is what gives me joy. This is who I am with right now. And we should be able to respect that as supporters. Because the thing that hurt me the more is a situation whereby we do videos and it gets clipped, right? Then it gets sent to Twitter to start a discourse. Olandra looking at this, if it's coming from the second fan base, it's a different thing. But to see that it's our own supporters that are the one giving hell, that is the hurtful part. To think that the people who are supposed to be in your corner are the people actually fighting you, that is the crazy part. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes if you feel like, oh, this person is not living up to my standard, maybe you should just take a step back and allow them to live the way they want to live. If you can support them, it's okay. And if you feel like they're not giving you what you want, it's okay. Because at this point, I just think the constant, oh, they're not together. I didn't see them together. I didn't do this. I didn't see that, is bullying. It's not even like they know that they're not together. They want to bully her to the point where she has to show everything. But Olandra is a stubborn person. You're not going to push her. She's not a pushover. So like they know that these people see themselves, but they want to do this. Oh, they're not together. She was 7 minutes away from the hotel, or this, that, or something like that. But at the end of the day, still not your relationship. And you can't bully her to show you what she doesn't want to show you. If she wants to make a relationship public and say, this is what I'm willing to share, that's what she'll share. If she doesn't want to share, there's nothing that's going to happen. You can back all you want. They will decide what they share with us. So that's what I wanted to add. I just want to say, like, it's okay now for people to leave them. If you feel like you're not getting what you want from the relationship, it's okay to take a step back and maybe like put your focus on something else, because it's getting crazy. And this situation exposed a lot. Let her be. It's our relationship, and it's our job to just either support or back, take a step back. It's okay. Your anxious attachment should not be to her. Like if you have some anxiety, anxious attachment, that's not Olandria. That's not her fault. You need to seek therapy. Find why you feel like you are part of this relationship and you want something from it. It's still not going to give you the fulfillment that you think you want, because the more she gives, the more you want. So she's not going to satisfy you. So there's something in your life that you think you need to fill up, and Olandria can do that for you. Leave her to enjoy a relationship, please. Yeah. If she feels like this is not for her anymore, it's not for her. People, they break up. They're good. Stop looking and stop nitpicking. Stop looking for every little thing. Oh, she's up this way. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. There's literally something that they have to pick out of this. It doesn't make sense anymore. It's not like witch hunting. Allow her to enjoy her relationship. You have your relationship. No one is telling you how to run things. Just let her be. It's exhausting. This past day and 2 days or something like that. It's crazy that you believe a stripper who has midnight ballerina who has been lying, caught in multiple lies, but you're still going to take a word over someone you've not heard from to know what actually happened. It's crazy. Anyway, let me use my time so that people can talk. That's just what I wanted to add, Miss Tina.
Thank you so much, Vibes Lounge. Dark Skin Lover Girl, go ahead and give me your thoughts, babe. Thank you, India.
Hey y'all. So my whole thing is that Even if Destiny and Sia or whoever is lying or misconstruing or overhyping the situation, the whole thing that gets me is how everyone reacted to something this small. This is not even now people are in the comments saying like, oh well, they're gonna dip, they're not gonna talk to us, they're not. I just don't feel like it's that serious. I think that it's been many a times within, I don't know if, I know some people are new watching Love Island, but I've been watching it for I think 3 years now, because I have a teenager. But I think that this is normal. Most of these Love Island guys or people have been accused of something like this. This is not the first time that a woman has come out and said that Nick or even the Greek Fest guys have done something, or in that sense of the word has said something like that. I mean, I remember, I think like a month ago, Nick was on a bus full of women and it was some discord on X. I think what happens is a lot of people on X are miserable and they have a lot of time. And I'm sitting over here wondering, where does time go? Because I feel like we just entered November and it's almost over. Like Thanksgiving is coming by so quick. I don't even have recipes to cook. So I feel like people are sitting there looking at their time and wondering why the day hasn't ended yet. And they just come up with things, or they run with things, or they explore things and they make it bigger than it is. This is a grown man. I've seen people on here saying, well, why was he even at a strip club? Because he's grown and he can. What's the issue? Like, you know, he can go and do what he wants to do. There's no evidence that he's cheated. And on top of that, you guys don't know what they define cheating in their relationship. I just think that everyone wants to make this bigger than it is for the discos because people don't have no life. This is not nothing big. I don't think they're going to silence themselves or not do what they have been doing because they do have brand. They have, obviously, Nick loves Snapchat. I think they're going to go back to it. They probably took a little break to breathe, like looking at each other, like what's going on. I mean, there's people like, oh, they haven't seen each other in 5 days. They're literally at the same hotel. You have no idea when you go to bed at night, different time zones. I'm in Texas, so you don't know if they go and meet up with each other. Her parents are there. Maybe it wasn't the right time for you. Nobody knows nothing, but everyone's just jumping to so many conclusions. And because there was a creator on here. It's a black lady. I mean, she tore Nick Landry into shreds, and I consider myself a Nick Landry. I know I'm grown and old and I shouldn't be doing that, but I do. She said, you know, it's a lot of parasocial and people want to control because of what happened in the villa when we had to vote. And we kind of got the narrative of how to control the situation a little bit. We couldn't control it all the way, but we did have a little bit of say-so in controlling the narrative of how Nick and Alandria got together in a tiny bit of form, you know. And so I think some people are still holding on to that, especially the Ola dolls. I don't call them that anymore, but I'm for the narrative that they still feel like they can control Alandria and control Nick and like make them do what they think is best for them. You know, I had to check myself on that too, because I was sitting over here saying, oh, well, I feel like Alandria should do this. And I'm saying, I feel like, but I'm not Alandria's mom. And even if I am her mom, this is a 27-year-old grown woman. She knows what's best for her, or she has a team that knows what's best for her. So I can only think that I know what's best, but I really don't know what's best. And I can't go on the internet and just shout it out because, well, I used to watch Love Island and I like them, you know. But I don't think this is as big as everybody is. This is a small thing. It wasn't even on TMZ. It wasn't even on the Shade Room. It wasn't on these big blogs. It was on a small blog that literally runs with misinformation. They do that on purpose because they don't get any engagement. That's what it was. And if he got a lap dance, so what? Maybe it's because I'm from Texas and that's a thing. Like, you know, you go and you blow money with your man or by yourself. And even some gentlemen's club over here, that's how old I am. We call it gentlemen's club. Even some gentlemen's club over here, they don't even allow a woman to go without a man. So It's nothing. It's not that big. I just feel like everyone's just freaking out. But that's all I have to say. It's calm down, y'all. They're not. It's. Well, I don't know. You know, they could be freaking out, but as far as I'm seeing, they're probably just celebrating the holidays. Why are we all forgetting that in 2 days is Thanksgiving? They're just probably just celebrating the holidays. Tina, I think you're still muted.
Girl, I was. Just yapping, girl. Just yapping on mute. Um, y'all are saying Sia posted again. I don't care. Sia can either come over here and pop it or I don't care. But I agree. I think that like it's not as big a deal as people think it will be. I do think that they will continue to. They've already been like trying to be quiet and reserved and private, and I just think that that's not going to change. I also do want to name, and I don't know why I didn't bring it up earlier, but like someone did say to me that they feel like Alandria and Nick kind of did this to themselves because they position themselves as like a traditional couple. And I just don't, that's not the way that I perceive them at all. Or not traditional, what they said was conservative. And I just don't perceive them that way at all. I think that she's talked a lot about having like traditional, like wanting traditional Southern values in her relationship, but being conservative, they wouldn't have gone on Love Island if that was true, right? I don't think they
Exactly.
position themselves as conservative at all.
I don't either. I don't know where people got that from. They're not, I mean, just because she's from the South, Alabama, I don't know. Like, I don't see that from them. I haven't heard them like preach that or, affirm that about their relationship. No, I don't know.
I feel like they're one of the only couples. Am I about to lie? I was about to lie, but when we talk, the couples that we've paid attention to, the couples where one of the partners is a Black person, like God and faith, and like that really hasn't been like a central component of their relationship, even though it is central to Olandria's identity. It's not something
Right.
that we hear about in their relationship explicitly. So that was like a I was shocked by that person feeling like that.
Yeah, me too.
I also feel like people just want to box people into a certain thing. Like, just because she may speak about God or be educated, it's like she can't have all the different facets. It's like they want to box her into a certain view, and it's their own view that they want to box her into, because never did she say that, but I think somebody can have all those traits and people refuse to see that.
Yeah. Someone just put the comment in here. What about this chocolate? Yeah, like I don't. What about them was giving conservative?
Exactly.
Like that's just
Nothing.
feeling like I don't know. Like again, to Nikki's point, some people just conflate traditional Southern values with like you must be conservative. Hey, boo,
And you know
y'all.
what? I wanted to say something like that, but I didn't want to get dragged. I was gonna say, I wanted to say on X, like, why are y'all tripping about? They met each other on a show where they were kissing everybody. That she would have an issue if he did go to a strip club. Like, why would that be an issue? This woman was around other beautiful women with him. Like, she's not insecure. She doesn't. Okay, well, keep trying to not speak for her, but I just don't feel like she gives a damn. Like, she's not a type of, just like I feel like I wouldn't care if my man went to the strip club because I know how I am. I'm a baddie myself, so who cares?
And like I've said to y'all plenty of times before. Oh, okay, you requested. Okay, my hands are. I'm making banana pudding. Give me a second to clear my heads out real quick. But like, I say all the time, right? Like, if you gotta know that you're really that girl. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, even if Chris was going to, I know who the fuck I am, and I know what I'm not doing. And so it's like I think that people need to put some respect on her shit And you know, you need to know that you're that girl too. You need to know that you're the prize as well. And so not be so caught up in um if he's at a strip club and he cheats, then that means something about me. No, that just means I move accordingly. The fuck?
Like, I don't know. Like, she lives in Houston. A lot of people keep pointing that out in the comments. I've never been to Houston, but I know that they have heavy strip club culture there. I live in Florida, and I've traveled to Atlanta many a time, so I know what it's like. Like, you see couples in strip clubs all the time. You see women going in groups all the time. You see men going in groups all the time. Like, so they are in their 20s and they seem like fun people. So this is nothing that is just like that should have caused as much mayhem as it did. It just shouldn't have.
And honestly, I think more things probably will happen like this. I mean, especially if he wants to be a DJ. And I mean, they're always going to come up with something. I don't think this is something that's going to go away, but it's at least they know how to deal with it moving forward. Because I do foresee more things like this happening, though.
Yeah. Listen, okay. Star's Journey, have you given your thoughts already? I'm trying to
No,
keep
not yet.
Okay. Sparkle, did you give your thoughts already? Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Wait, my first thoughts, yeah.
Okay, just kidding. Star's Journey, please go ahead and give your thoughts, my love.
Okay, so don't jump on me. I actually have a different point of view when it comes to how production, I guess, portrayed Olandria, and I actually feel like they tried to favor her, to be honest, because a lot of the things that Taylor was, I feel like she was dealing with self doubt, which I feel like this is the season that I'm currently in. Because if you watch back, she kept saying a lot of things like she didn't feel like he was into her. And she would always say different things like she could feel it, but then she would second guess herself. And then I feel like in the villa, a lot of people were seeing like, how Taylor was treating her, which also probably played with her decision as well. But production showed how him and Alan was playing with her. You know, in addition to people keep telling her to speak with him. I feel like if they were trying to portray her um, in a bad light, outside of them not putting out a statement, I feel like if they were trying to portray her in a bad light, they would have not showed those things and really had people, because people, even with seeing what he was doing, people are still saying, oh my God, oh, why she's doing that? Oh, I'm just tired of her. Even though everyone was manipulating her, you know, like he was still acting like he was interested even after picking Clark numerous times. Oh, I still want to talk to you. I still want to talk to you. You could see what Alan was doing, and then after his interview, everything really like came out, you know, to the spotlight. But so I kind of view that differently, and I feel like it kind of actually helped people because also Olandria also came out and was like, oh well, Taylor was this and Taylor was that. She was still trying to cover for him. I and I think it's just because of her the type of person that she is, and she still haven't watched the show, you know. But at the same time, I think if all that wasn't out for viewers to see, it could have easily been a different narrative. But we kept seeing how towards her. So that's kind of how I view that. Then my other piece is like, you know, in the villa, outside the villa, you know, Olandria and Nick pretty much I feel like have not have a break from the hate, racism, and all this vitriol that they just continue to get back to back to back, either from their fellow coworkers or other people that continuously do things to fuel that flame. And never do we ever hear, oh, protect the mental health of Olandria and Nick. Why is it somebody speaking out for them? Why aren't the other islanders saying? But anytime it's anybody else, it's why isn't Olandria saying anything? But whenever it's them, you hear nothing. So I just find that very interesting. So that was like my 2 cents that I wanted to put into the conversation.
Thank you. I will say that I always thought that production, and I think I probably have videos that say this at some point, but I used to be on this girl named Brandy. I used to be on her lives pretty much after every episode during Love Island season. And I had the theory that production was showing us what they were showing us about Taylor because they knew that it wasn't going to work out. Like they knew something that we didn't know. And so they were trying to make sure that we weren't shocked when it didn't work out. Personally, that's what I used to think about. Like, why are they showing this to us? Because even Ian is like, oh, I thought that they were like gonna like make it to the end, right? So there were things that they could have shown us that would have made us believe that, but that's not what they showed us, right? And so I always thought that production knew that to some extent, and that's why we were getting the edit that we were getting. I will say though that I didn't perceive, and I know that some people have already said in the comments, but I have talked about it on videos as well. I do think that Alandria was not trying to cover for Taylor. I think that Alandria wanted us to know she's not a stupid girl. And so when she was talking that, it was because she wants us to know, y'all, I'm not dumb. Like, I'm not this is what he was doing that made me believe that, right? But again, I go back to the reason why I do put some of this on production, right, is because we're getting that edit, which means that evidence is there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have anything to give us, right? But she is also having the experience of something different that we're not getting to see. And so why was there such a push if we believe that Alan is telling the truth about, then why was there such a push to keep the two of them together if production also knew all of that part too? Like, I just, for me, that's where I struggle with it. You know what I mean?
But I don't think there was a push to keep them together because I just feel like they used that because who else was interested in Taylor?
Nobody.
Once Clark came in, I feel like honestly that he kept telling Olandra he was interested was simply because there were still other male islanders on there, and he it was the assumption that Clark may have been interested or switched up on him, and so he wanted that backup. So he wanted, I feel like, Olandria as a buffer, and then when no more other Islanders, I guess, or whatever you call them, were coming in, at that point, then he made his, decision. But if production was pushing it so much, why were you able to just quickly switch over to Clark? Not that I wanted you to stay with Olandria by any means.
But then why wouldn't production have also said, no, you're supposed to be with Alandria?
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. No, I believe that. And y'all are funny because I see y'all in the comments talk about because Alan is production, he was lying. Listen, y'all are silly. But y'all are probably not wrong, right? Yeah, did you request? I didn't see you on there. You're already up here. You're already up here. You don't see yourself?
Can I add something? Star's journey. I think why people feel like Olandria wasn't given a bad edit or are not mad at production based on how Olandria was portrayed is because that's who she really was. She didn't give them anything crazy or nasty to edit about herself. She wasn't like two-timing Taylor, like he was two-timing her, playing behind her back. She wasn't being deceptive to him. She wasn't working with somebody else to play him like he was working with Ace, telling Ace his true feelings about her. And there's also a reason that the girls were shocked when he didn't choose her, because it's like, we see you catering to her. We see you pretending like you like her. So where's this all of a sudden coming from that you don't like her? She didn't have anything bad to give, but we're saying like Alan has admitted that influences, being production, encouraged him and Taylor to keep Olandria around even though he wasn't interested. So they both played that game until Taylor had an out. Then they treated Olandria as disposable, like they felt that she was.
Do you think
Right.
that
No, I
production
agree with
also,
that.
but do you think that production could have been, and I don't know, but could they have been encouraging him to keep Olandria around because they wanted Olandria?
They could
That's
they
what
could
I
have.
think.
I think that can happen too. She was the more interesting character because outside of Bella like getting kicked out of the villa early, like the first one out, she's the only person who has said that she was going to talk to Taylor out of any of the other girls that came in. Like Taylor wants to talk to Huda, but he was mad that he felt like she was closed off to Jeremiah. He wanted to talk to Andrina. That was not happening. The only other like nobody else besides Clark look Taylor's way in any well, Coco did. I have to say that initially because she was a Casa girl, but I mean,
But
none of the other
but when
bombshells or anything.
But when Jalen came in, what did he do? You had the opportunity. I'm sure production was pushing you because I'm sure production brought Jalen in for Orlandria. But what did you
Absolutely.
do? You decided to up your affection or whatever. You turned it up to deceive her yet again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so so he could be, I guess, voted off, or so she don't have as much interest in him, you know. And then what did Alan do? He went
He
for Huda,
convinced him to
even
go
though
harder.
he convinced him to go harder. But when they were up for elimination, even though he despised Huda supposedly, who did he go stand next to?
He claims that
Huda.
wasn't his
Oh,
his
that's just
decision.
BS.
I
That
know.
is BS. Like,
Because on the
he
show,
didn't
he
want.
said he didn't do that for Huda. He did that because he didn't see Jalen making the effort that he should towards Olandria. But we know that that wasn't going to be true because you and Taylor were boys. So also, we have
And
to point out that I think Olandria gave Taylor more chances than he deserved because we're all saying that she said, she wasn't confident in that connection. She said that more than once. Even
but
on
I
the day
also
she cooked him breakfast, but she was trying to rid herself of being the cutoff queen. She said she
exactly.
was the cutoff queen before coming into the villa, and she didn't want to do that.
Exactly. But I also feel like if Jalen had more time, he would have probably persuaded Olandria. You don't think so? I think
No,
he would. Oh, I feel
no. All
like
he said was, "This is my first time out the country." That's all he
I
He's a
said
little
through the
know,
whole
dry.
show.
but
He's a little dry.
He
he was
was
a little dry, but
he
I
was
feel
boring.
like it would have helped her maybe look up at Taylor a little bit different. Had he have a little bit more time, I feel like
He
Alan
had the
was
opportunity.
threatened. He did, but he only got like a day or two.
He
Like a
got to
day or
go on a
two.
solo beach date with her. He got one-on-one time. He pulled her to
Not
the
everybody
side, but
saying
he
no.
didn't talk about anything. He was a
I
dud.
Chat.
She just didn't like him, and Olandria wasn't going. She didn't like him. She didn't like him.
when he asked for a kiss, y'all, that was pretty much a wrap. And then I'm gonna let my new panelist go, but that was pretty much a wrap because if
It was
anything, I think
cringe.
it would have driven him. It would have driven O further into Taylor's arms because that's what she wanted the least, right? Was she wanted a
Right.
slow build up. So I
You
think that
might be
would have
right.
pissed her
Yes.
off even
Yeah.
more. Okay, go ahead and give me your thoughts, Sar, and then Lady, or no, I think Sion was on first, and then Lady. Okay, go ahead and give me your thoughts.
Okay, hi ladies. So I accidentally fell into a live and I think it was the Ola dolls because I recognized some of the names. And it was very interesting how they were responding today, kind of like licking their wounds, kind of like, yeah, I know I did bad and I know I'm in timeout and we're going to get through this together. I mean, it was really weird. And I think the thing for me about some of those Ola dolls, and this will probably be the last time that I call them that, is a couple things. One, Olandria is 27 years old. She's been out of the country. She's basically made a name for herself, worked very, very hard. And you had some of these people trying to tell her how to live her life, and they've never been outside of their circumference. You know, some of those people are actually from New York, probably don't even have a driver's license, haven't been out of a 6-block radius, and they're telling this grown woman how to live her life, and they are so anti-Nick. And I was kind of like, okay, is this because they're like COVID babies and they just, you know, are allowed to kind of act that way? Is this because, unfortunately, my generation, Generation X, in some ways we kind of suck as parents because we were helicopter parents and we did everything for them, so they don't have to make any decisions for themselves? And I'm saying we as a collective, I don't treat that way. I have a 21-year-old and he calls me and I'm like, you got to figure it out on your own, baby. I love you, but you got to figure it out on your own. I had to too. And the other thing too, and I said in the comments, and I'm gonna, you know, hold myself accountable. I was never spanked by my parents. I was the youngest. My next oldest sibling was 10 years older than me. But I do feel like we just, you know, Gen X kids, we were latchkey kids. We had to learn how to figure it out. We actually had to go and get our own switch that was used on us. And I'm just like, I feel like some of these kids are just coming from an era where they just have not lived enough life, yet they're telling people how to live life. And I think the reason why they're doing that is because they so want to live life that they want to live vicariously through other people. And with that, I guess I'll land. Thank you so much for having me on here. Tina, I love it. I miss Colorado, although Colorado has its issues. But I lived in Colorado twice and I miss it, and I hope to kind of get back. So, yeah.
Well, if you come to visit while I still live here, then we'll grab a coffee.
I will look you up, girl, because I think you live near some of my relatives, kind of like near the zoo, and that's the old Black community that my family's from.
No,
Yep.
my family is in Park Hill. Some
Exactly.
of my family is in Park Hill, but I actually live closer to Green Valley Ranch. I'm by the airport.
Oh, okay. Yep, the new area. Okay, gotcha.
But we can still grab a coffee.
We can still grab a coffee, girl.
Okay, Sion, will you please give me your thoughts?
Yes, I will. Hi everyone. I love your panel. Because you be like, you talk real good, and like what y'all be saying be so good. I'm 26, about to be 27, so I can relate to Alindra a lot. And so with this whole situation with Nicholas going on, I was just like, have y'all never been to Vegas before? Have y'all never been to a strip club before? Like me, my first strip club and my only strip club experience was I went to G5 in Miami on a Tuesday, and I was like, damn, I want to go back again. Like. And then I had to leave early because I was with my friend for her 21st. I wasn't even 21 at the time. I was 20. And then the guy who came with us, who was her friend, he wanted to leave. So we had to leave because he was our designated driver.
Yeah.
But when I finally caught up on what happened, because I didn't know what was going on, because I'm from Philly #1, and during this time of the year, it's football season. So I haven't clocked out. So y'all need to leave me alone. I come back and my team lost. I was already pissed. I come back. I said, why are whacking Nicholas? Like, I looked at the picture. I said, he just looked like he getting an order or something from her. Y'all don't even got enough proof. And y'all need to leave him alone, because let's be honest, if it wasn't Nicholas dropping them crumbs, we wouldn't even got here. Because, and no shade to Landry, that's my girl, but she wasn't gonna move. She wasn't. And I was like, because this is my first season ever watching Love Island. I will not be back after this, because no, no. And also, I know next season, because how big Nick and Alandria was, and the whole Nick Alandria was, people are going to be trying to reheat their crumbs. I.e., we see Iris and TJ doing it right now, but that's none of my business. That's none of my business. But they cute, but that's none of my business. I'm just like, y'all need to leave it alone. Like, because then when she was in that villa and she didn't know, I wanted her to take the nigga, excuse my language, I wanted her to take the nigga because he wanted to get took. And let's be honest, like, I'm like, girl, and I always say, I said, them people is lucky. Alindra is from down south in Alabama, because if she was from where I'm from, Philly, Like the city girl said, I'll take your man. Hey,
Yo, man.
I just like y'all gotta let people, and as me being a young person and Gen Z, but I always say like I'm on the older side. So like I was able to grow up where I went outside. My pop up used to fix people, all the kids' bikes on my block. And then
Oh,
I got to see the transition and how we're so technology based. But I'm like, y'all need to touch grass, take a nap, because that's how I touch grass, take naps. Like, go take a nap, do something. Because I'm like, y'all can't control people's lives. Like, we don't know them. Like, yeah, we got to see them on our screens for 6 weeks, but we don't know these people. Yeah, we can support them, but they know what they're doing, especially Alandria. Because I'm like, first of all, I'm an oldest daughter myself. And my mom, like both of my parents wasn't teen parents. My mom was, but my dad was in his early 20s. So I already know what that how an oldest daughter of mine is wired. Like we gotta have the solutions. We gotta make the right decisions. So yeah, she's like, you don't think she's assess Nicholas enough? Like, and like she already said, he the same person that he was in the villa, that he's been outside of this villa in his real world. And y'all need to watch pattern recognition. Like, watch how a person move their actions, especially in a man. And like he the number one Oladao fan. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I just be like, y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta stop trying to live vicariously through other people. Live a little. And I know it's hard because of the time world we live in, but live a little. And this season was a direct reflection of our society as a whole. Like, I didn't think in Trump's America in 2025, I would be supporting a white man going hard for him to be like, yeah, because he love a black woman. Like, that's my thing. Like, yeah, I'm pro black, but I'm pro black women first. So it don't matter what the man look like as long as he treating her right and loving her loudly. And I'm gonna say this. All the black people that were going to come at her, I'm like, for being with him, I'm like, but two black men was ready to get her out the villa quickly and use her for collateral damage. But the white man was going crazy, snapping his fingers, poking in his boots, and he didn't have no benefit. That was the real tester on why when I was like, all right, Nicholas gonna be on my come on turn client list because he's shaking in his boots and he just got friends on earlier in the day. And that ain't mean nothing to him. I'm like, I don't know. Y'all are haters. And the thing is, we know what it is. It's due to the racism, the colorism, the featureism, and the misogyny and misogyny war of why y'all don't see it for Olympia. Because I'm like, when I saw her, because it was like all over my social media, and I was like, yeah, Love Island gonna get me because y'all not. But they got me. It's like, if America's Next Top Model was out, she would win.
clock it.
I don't, like, I just be like, y'all do too much. The haters do too much. And like Nene Leak said, bling, bling, bling. Bitches is mad. Like, everybody's mad. Everybody's mad. Like, whether it's the haters, or the fans, or the people on their season. Like, I'm just like, and especially the people on their season, I'm like, y'all are weird. Y'all are weird. Y'all are very weird. And it's like, Nick and Alindra really are the most genuine, authentic people that was from their season. And that's what people understand. That's going to always take you the furthest in life, whether you want a fandom or whatever career goal you want. Because it's like, people can sense that. And I'm the type of person, because I'm a Sagittarius, I don't do that fake shit. Excuse my language again.
You're
I
okay.
don't do that fake stuff. So
You
I
can
can
cuss.
clock inauthenticity. And I'm like, yeah, I couldn't clock it with Alan first. He got me. That's why he's no longer on my client list. Because I'm like, nigga, why you do that? Why you do that slime line stuff? And I'm like, yeah, that's why Nicholas shouldn't be cool with you because you did that slime line stuff. And where is that cool at? That's nutty. But that's just my take. I'm just like, I'm over y'all. Like, I just want to enjoy them in peace. Let them release content individually. Couples, they enjoy it all. Like, and I'm like, I used to watch Love is Blind, but I stopped watching it after season one because Lauren and Cameron, my face. Y'all, like, I was like, man, I ain't never gonna get that again.
Right.
Like, I
You're
thought I
not.
was gonna get that type of experience. I ain't get nothing but y'all stressing me out. Like, what's going on? But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Like, I'm young, but I ain't like some of my, no shade to my young counterparts, but I be like, who is y'all?
Said I ain't like y'all.
I'm not. Like, I got an old soul, but I am young and will get a little turned. But, and that's the thing, I'm like, my client, she 27, she young, lit, turned. Like, what are you, like, what? Y'all don't want to see, y'all don't want to enjoy the blessings.
And what's crazy is like Nick is even younger than her. So like, why are we so mad about
Like,
You know, Sion has a good point because Who in the villa was treated like they were such an expert and yet they've never had a relationship? Like Ace. And I feel like that's what those dolls act like too. Like you've never had a relationship and yet you're an expert. If I'm going to invest my money, I'm not going to go to the poor guy on the street. I'm going to go to the billionaire.
Exactly. Like I've never been in a relationship, but I always say I know people who've been in relationships, and I just like to observe. But certain things I don't speak on because I can't, because I've never been through that. But my friends who are in relationships, sometimes they come to me for advice. But I'm like, just take a little bit when I say you don't take everything, but I'm not going to say I'm an expert. And that's what used to kill me about Island sometimes. I'm like, bro, I like you because I knew about him before Love Island because of TikTok. So why you all up in everybody's business? I see what people saying, but I'm gonna let you slide because I like you. But you don't know what you're talking about. And also, you're 22 now, 23. You really don't know what you're talking about.
Listen. All right, lady, give me your thoughts.
Hi, Tina. Hi, everyone. I wanted to come from a perspective of, I guess, I have a 21-year-old, and even though I'm her mother, I gave birth to her. I know even though I have raised her, she still has to live her life at the same time, even make mistakes. And so you give room for mistakes. And so I don't bash her for making mistakes because she's learning, she's evolving. And I believe that in raising her each, stage or milestone of her life, I had to grow with her. And what she needed when she was in elementary school, she didn't need in middle school. So I had to evolve and grow with her. Although I was the parent, I gave her the tools in order to live life and try to set her up for success. But at the same time, I had to release her because she had to make her own decisions. And I think what is kind of concerning is that for people who are fans of Nick and Alandria, we're not even in proximity to them. We're not even related to them. We don't have relationship with them. The only thing we can do is just look at them. We've been admiring them and based off of what we've seen on the show and what they present to the public. And I think for me, it's concerning how we feel like we know more about them and we know what's best for them, although we really don't know them. And it's very concerning how we really don't have critical thinking, especially in this day and time. We perceive that whatever we think is truth, and it's not. And then we got this thing, well, I'm speaking my truth. Okay, but your truth can be based on fallacy. And if you don't have anybody to check that, you perceive everything you think is right, and it's not. And it's scary to live in a society where you won't be open for growth. You're not open for change. And everything that you think and you see, you think you say is truth, and it's not. And I believe that with Nick and Olandria, we are seeing these people in real time evolve and grow and make mistakes and learning and doing all these things. And we don't give them the grace to do that. And the crazy part about it is the same, expectations that we put on them, we don't even put on ourselves. And then what's even more crazy is that we have a lot of people who have failed in life. And when they look at Landry, like, oh my God, you see a beautiful dark woman, she needs to do this, she needs to do that because I couldn't do it. So I want her to do this. And I'm just sitting up here like, come on, like you're not even an expert in your own life and you're not even, excelling in your own life and you want her to take advice from you. I find that concerning. And of course, because they themselves project and, if that was my man, he's not your man. If I was her, you're not her. So what makes you think you know better? What makes you think we'll say, I love Alandria and she's so smart and she's intelligent, but she's all it is. But then you say, well, she needs to do, no, she don't need to do nothing but live her life, make the decision, and she's successful based off the decisions that she's made. She's just based off the decision that she made. And I just believe that if people just mind their business and the same energy they put into trying to tell her and what to do and how to live her life, if you put that same energy in your life, maybe you'll be farther along. And I think that instead of trying to tell her what to do, how about you look at your own self and see, the things that areas of your life that you need to change. I think it's so disgusting, and especially how, and even so when people was like, oh, y'all up here defending a white man and y'all doing this and y'all doing too much and y'all going too hard. You saying that because that's not your son. Because if it was your son, you would want somebody to defend him. You're saying that because that's not your brother. That's not your uncle. But you'll want the whole world to come in defense of them. And I think it's sad because I'm just sitting up here how callous and cold we've become, where we just don't care. And we're reckless with our mouths. We're reckless with some of the things that we say and we do to people until it's us. And then you want somebody to come and save you and want somebody to come and defend you. That's sick. Is very sick. And so when I look at it, for me, I hate injustice everywhere, regardless of who it is. I've always been like that. And I just believe that we live in a cold and callous society where we don't care. We're reckless with our mouth, with some things that we do. We don't look at people as human beings. We don't respect them. I think it's sick. I think it's really sick. And I just think that a lot of our projections onto them is based off of insecurities because you failed in life and you feel the need to try to tell somebody else how to live their life. How about you get your home straight before you try to tell somebody else what to do? Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. And this is exactly what they're doing to them. I just believe that, allow them to grow, allow them to make mistakes, allow them to figure it out on their own. Don't perceive that you know best because you don't. You really, if I was him and if I was that and he should have did, no. You're doing too much. And the crazy part about it is some of the things that people say they would not tolerate. You wouldn't know that because you wouldn't be in her position. Yeah. Because if she reacted like what a lot of people expect for her to act, she wouldn't be at the place that she's in. She's smart. She's very intelligent. And I believe Nick is smart and very, very intelligent too. Give them grace to grow because the truth be told, you will want somebody to treat your child the same way. So.
Thank you for sharing those thoughts, Lady EB. Okay, y'all, I am going to wrap up the panel. I do want to just name, I don't know if they're still in here because I muted them. Because I saw you and I got to mute you before it scrolled too far and I couldn't see. But Joy, we actually don't do that in this live, okay? So while you're yapping, we actually don't do that over here. Assessing behavior, making observations is not the same thing as trying to declare what people should and should not do in their lives, okay? And also, can't even remember the last time we talked about them motherfuckers in here. But here you are over here bringing them up. Go be obsessed somewhere else. Oh, Nikki, what Joy said was, it's mind your own business when it's Nick and Landria, but y'all can sit on live dissecting Shelly and Ace. When's the last time we talked about Shelly and Ace in here? As a couple? Can't even remember. And yet never have we sat in here and been like, this is what Shelly should do. And if Ace was my man, we've never done that. Because nobody in here wants Ace to be their man. Don't be weird. Okay?
Tina, not the what about us thing again.
Like, I don't understand because it's so like on Sunday, we were literally in here on Sunday talking about the Danish deception, the Danish delusion, and they came in here talking about Michelle and Alan. Are y'all okay? Like, don't be weird. Don't be weird. We're not even talking about that. The Bell, you know what? You know what's great is that I have not cut up all live because I've been busy baking banana puddings. So I've been keeping it cute all live. Okay, I love y'all down. We are done making banana puddings. So I'm going to make another small one that's just cookies and pudding for my daughter. But other than that, for the other daughter, not the manager. But other than that, we're done. Finally. Recipe. Okay. Y'all, I use box pudding, so don't judge, okay? Yes, it is gonna go on YouTube. Oh, they said they love us, me and the manager. Manager said wrap it up. I use banana cream pudding. I use French vanilla pudding. If you do one of each, why so many puddings? Because I'm making one for my employees and my residents, and then one for my family. And then my other daughter, she likes regular banana pudding, but she likes it best when it's just the cookies and the pudding. So I'm just gonna make her a little small one. But French vanilla and banana cream, I just do instant. And then I use cream cheese.
Are you giving out the recipe?
Yeah.
No. Who are you?
And then after you make the pudding, you set it aside. And then I mix cream cheese with sweetened condensed milk. And then I fold in whipped cream and then fold it into the pudding. And then Lorna Doone cookies, mini wafers, bananas, pudding, like your own. Yeah. And lots of cookies in mine. Okay. All right. Love y'all. It's, I don't want to say whose recipe it is, but if you Google Not Your Mama's banana pudding, I won't say that woman's name, but then you can make it your own from that. Okay, love y'all down. Have a great night. Have a happy holiday week. I will not be live again this week, y'all. We are doing family time. Go do your family time. Get some good rest. Good night. Good night. Thank y'all for hanging. You're not going to say bye, manager? You want to say bye, assistant manager?
He's not the assistant.
Bye.
Who is he assisting? He doesn't do anything.
I don't get paid.
Because you don't.
Because you don't do anything.
Because you don't let me do
So
anything.
who's
Okay, we'll give him a job.
No, we won't.
Kaylani will give you a job.
They like me
telling
more.
me like you're
They
the
like me
manager.
more than